I talk to people who have very little money, and I talk to super rich people, everything in between. I talk to the whole thing of our society. Everyone's struggling with the same shit. The celebrities and rich people, they're anxious, they're frustrated, they don't know how to walk the dogs. This is not a money problem. This is a knowledge problem and an awareness problem.
I think he really is confident, but I also know that like when you're super confident and you overcorrect, that means you're insecure in some way.
A lot of breeders they consider themselves breed experts, but they don't really totally understand the psychology of a dog. Like if you just own the home, it can be like, look, here's the final thing is I want you here, Dad. I want you to live here and do this stuff, but this is my dog and I feel like you're not respecting what my decisions are of how I want to raise the dog, which is I have to accept that that's the way you want to do it, but I can't have you living here if that's what you're going to do. When Caesar said this about no touch, no talk, no eye contact, he's been taking shit for this for 20 years for saying that thing because people are like, what do you expect me to do? Come in and just ignore my dog? They're seeing it as like, but I love my dog and I want to say hello. And I'm like, I understand that side. I get it. This is what people don't realize about the whole front door and like the greeting, this excited greeting and jumping thing, is that they're training the dog to meet people that way. So if you're doing this greeting, excitement, jumping, invading space. So it's basically excitement, arousal. Now a stranger comes. So excitement, arousal, but holy shit, I don't know who you are. What's up, Pack? We are here to do our live Q&A. We are going to be bringing people on throughout to ask me questions, anything you want about dogs. So we're going to give a couple seconds here for some people to come in. And then I'm going to give you guys some updates on what the hell has been going on in the pack leader dog world, plans, what we've been up to, what are our plans for 2026, which we're in right now. It's awesome. So I'll give it a couple more minutes, a couple more seconds, let some people come in. TikTok, what's up? We're still figuring out how to get TikTok linked to our stuff here. So that's coming. Jamie's going to be putting into the comments. So if you're interested in being in it, you'll see the link. Jamie's going to put it in there. And one thing I want to say about this, because there was last time, there wasn't a big deal, but like last time somebody came on, their mic was all screwed up and their service was not good, and then got off, and when we went to go bring them back on, they was a little upset that like we had to make them wait for a little bit of time. So I just want to remind everybody, like, we're doing our best. This is a free thing that I'm doing. I'm not charging anybody for this. I'm doing my best to bring everybody on. So this isn't like a paid service, right? That being said, I'm treating it like a paid service. I'm trying to give you guys as much quality and value as I possibly can. I'm just saying, like, just try not to be too cutthroat and holding us accountable if like you want to have your question answered. Like, we have the paid service. If you want that, that's available. If you guys want it, you get 1 hour with me and you can talk to me as long as you want. Okay. So I missed you guys too. I see the comments. I'm a little fired up. It's 2026. Let's get this shit going. It's enough now. I'm so tired of this crap that I've been dealing with Instagram. So let's just deal with it. Let's just talk about what's happening. So back in April of 2025, first ever thing happened to me, which was like, in quote, copyright flag, mark, whatever you want to call it, violation, whatever. So I had no idea what the hell this was, what's going on. So basically over the last year, I've been educated on copyright law, probably at a level of like legal in some like law school or something type of shit. So went through the whole process, realized that the videos that I'm doing are 100% legal. They're fair use videos. So basically what that means is if I take a video that's a public video, someone posts a video of their dog reacting or something like that, and I take it and I don't just repost it, but I take it and I make commentary, I do graphics, I do slow-mo, I do all these things to it and provide new value and new representation to it, it's 100% legal to do. You can do that in the United States, right? The problem is that Instagram sometimes flags it or a claim comes in. And then when that happens, no matter what, I'm stuck in a usually like 2-month process of appeal to try to get that done. And then the issue with that is that when I'm in the appeal process, my account's at risk. So if I get like more stuff during that time, they can deactivate the account, which happened in April. So I was deactivated for, I forget what it was, like 10 days or something. What was it? I don't even remember, like 10 days. Something like that. In like April, I was deactivated. So then throughout the year, kept doing it. And we got some of these claims, but then I knew how to like deal with it. So I would like send them in, deal with it, send them in, deal with it. The problem is it just got super time consuming and now has gotten to a point where like it's just causing such a delay in doing content. So basically what I'm doing behind the scenes is I'm working out the way where I can do these video reviews like without even the risk of anyone doing a claim. So that's happening right now. Unfortunately, the long short of it is that I'm going to have to pay to make sure that like these videos are licensed and all this kind of thing. So whatever, we're going to pay for it. And because like to me, it's value in doing those videos. There's so value to actually like do those videos. And to me, I'm willing to pay the fee to like get these people out of my goddamn way so I can actually just do these videos for you guys and just do it. Like I'm paying for the videographers, I'm paying for the editors, I'm paying for I'm paying that already. Like, let's just do the whole thing. Let's just pay for this, and then we don't have to deal with this crap ever again. So that's what's happening in the video reviews. I'm sorting that out, and let's get into what am I going to be posting. Can you turn that air down a little bit? Because I'm a little bit fired up today. Okay. So new content for 2026 coming. Obviously the live Q&A we did a couple of these last year, but we're going to get really serious about these and I'm planning to do these weekly. I can't guarantee that I'll do it weekly because I'm running a pretty big business here in New Jersey and I'm going to do my best to be able to do this every week, but it's going to be a priority I'm making to do this every week. If there's some weeks that I can't do it for whatever reason, if Andre can't make it for videography or if Jamie's busy or we have something going on in the business or I have something, then we might miss a week here and there, but the plan is going to be do weekly Thursdays at 12 o'clock until further notice. Okay. So everybody knows that. So I also do these type of things. I do video calls. I do them almost every single day for people around the world. And I'm going to share some of those calls and it's going to be dependent on if the person wants to show their face or not. And if they don't, I'm just going to let the audio of like something happen. I want to give you guys some clips from those calls that I think are super valuable that stay behind the paywall of that call that I'm having with the person, because I'm having some of these like things of like, hey, have you ever tried this thing? And everyone's like, wow, it's a great idea. And I'm like, wow, like so many people could value from this, but only this person's going to get it right now. So I'm trying to figure out the ways to do that. That's coming. Okay. This is what I'm really excited about is I'm going to be doing like a weekly instructional video. So this is going to be a long form thing. And my plan is in front of a whiteboard or one of these digital whiteboards to discuss the topic of dog psychology in the way that I see it, that I think is valuable for you guys to understand and know. So right off the bat, the first video they're going to make, I think is probably the most important video of all, is how to find the right dog for you, right? That's it. Like compatibility. How do you find the right dog? Whether you're getting a rescue dog, a puppy, a friend's dog, a foster, I don't care what it is. How do you pick the right energy for you based on your energy, based on your environment, based on the family you're in, based on your lifestyle? How do you pick the right dog for you? And I want to show how the public normally does it and how we should do it. You know what I mean? That's going to be a great one. So like, I want to do that. And then my plan with that is to take that blog and then take that video and then take like the transcription. So everything I say in it and then turn that into like a nice like document that you guys can read also, you know, and potentially like check things off and write things. So it's just more stuff for you guys to have. So that's that rescue dog shit. So I have a rescue dog that I had right now that we filmed some of the stuff on. It came out really cool. And I haven't released it. This is stuff we did last summer. That like I still have this dog and we're doing stuff with him and we're looking to get him adopted. By the way, if anyone's interested in adopting a dog, I have a good one. He's a high energy middle and he's a little pushy. So you have to be able to deal with that. But this guy's been at my place for the last like 6 months. He's been trained by me and my team. He's a great dog. And whoever selects this dog gets to meet me and do a session with me to have this dog. And it gets me for support after having this dog. So if you're interested in adopting Ryder, who's with me, put it in the comment to just reach out to info@packleaderdogs.com. So yeah, we're going to, so with that video, I'm going to be showing, we're going to go to a rescue. I'm going to like talk with the staff there. We're going to assess and evaluate a bunch of dogs there, see who's there. Then we're going to select one dog who I'm going to take out of the rescue. We're going to bring, or the shelter. We're going to bring it to my ranch. It's going to live here. We do rehabilitation and then we're going to find the dog the right home. And we're going to show the process of how I matchmake. Like how would I pick that dog? What's the owner that I would pick for that dog and why? So I want you guys to see why. And then to me, that's one of the biggest issues that happens in the dog world is the compatibility is way off. So someone gets ambitious and they love the way a German Shepherd looks. They get a German Shepherd and they bit off more than they can chew. And now they have issues. Or they got a front of the pack or middle of the pack dog and they're a more introverted person and that dog takes over, you know, or they're a very front or like strong energy and they get a weak back of the pack who's like doesn't trust. It's like this guy's too much to be around. This girl's too much. So that's a really important one. We're going to get into all this type of videos, but I'm going to get into like separation anxiety. What are the biggest things of separation anxiety? What are things you can do? It's going to be like more generalized, but valuable stuff, not the typical shit you're going to read. You know what I mean? It's going to be stuff that I actually do with my paying clients who some of them, these board and train people, it starts at 10 grand for them to work with us. So these people are paying for this information. I'm going to give it to you guys for free, but we're doing this. It's not like we're just saying this shit in theory. This is the stuff we're doing that is working with people. So I'm not going to share stuff in theory with you. I'll share some of my theory and I'll explain that it's theory, but there's things that we're actually doing and are working that we're going to be sharing with you. That's what I want to share with you guys. What else? Podcast. Oh my God. Like the amount of people said, you need a podcast. Where's your podcast? Do a podcast. Where's that? So I did one and I did one in the past, but it was basically like, I don't know, get in front of a screen and just talk shit. So I was like not structured. We weren't totally prepared. If you go back to my YouTube and watch those videos, there's a ton of value in those because I just ramble on about dog psychology, my experiences. There's a lot of good nuggets in there, but it wasn't very structured. We did guests differently and all this stuff. We have a good plan for it this year. So I want to bring on dog people. Basically, going to start with dog people so we can start not so much challenging, but talking to people about the way they see dogs and start to bring this dog community back together. Then after that, I want to go into other things that help humans because we're dealing with a relationship between a dog and a human. right? But what does the dog training world do? They say, all right, so forget about the human. Let's just train this dog. I'm like, all right, but it's a relationship. Doesn't we have to talk about the human too? How do they feel? What are their skills? What is their knowledge of dogs? You know what I mean? Like that has to be dealt with too. So we have to, it's a relationship. It's really like what I do is basically relationship counseling. It just happens to be with a human and a dog. So we have to put each other in each other's shoes. So how does a dog see this? Because a lot of humans with their dog, they look at it the way a human would look at it, or the way they want it to be, right? Or they want to fulfill the dog's needs in the way they want to fulfill the needs, not versus the way the dog actually needs to be fulfilled, his actual needs, right? So those are things we're definitely going to talk about. And those things, and I'm going to get into like bringing on like imagine Tony Robbins and like Gabor Mate and like just business people and this, and I want to challenge them from the basis of what we have is a core knowledge of dog psychology, and then question them or ask questions basically from that foundation. Not just like, so where are you from? What are you doing next? What are you promoting? Who gives a shit? Seriously, right? It's like, so Mr. Tony Robbins, in your childhood, or when you were starting to become Tony Robbins, at what point did you doubt yourself? Did you ever have imposter syndrome like so many people have? Like I had at one point in my life? I'm curious to know, because you telling the public that you had imposter syndrome will help a lot of people. So I want to have a cool podcast and talk to people, but I also want to be valuable for people. I talked about the blog already. That's coming. We'll add a link. I don't have the link here, but we're going to add a link. I talked about the blog a couple months ago. We haven't done anything with it yet, but that's the plan also, is you're getting a weekly blog, and it's going to be more like things from me, things that are happening here at the ranch, any cool stuff happening, any deals on products we get or something. I'm going to share it with all you guys. I had my second son, by the way, in November. I don't know if I mentioned that on here yet. So I have 2 sons now. Things are my personal human pack is growing, which is great. And things are going awesome. So it's been painful. I'll just tell you guys, like, and I put in the post yesterday when I announced this, I said, we've dealt with, like, 2025 was an amazing year. The pack grew, I think, like 500,000 people on Instagram. It was crazy. That amount of people. We helped so many people, so many dogs, and all this kind of stuff happening. I had my second son, I said, like, so many things to be grateful for, but it was a year of adversity with this Instagram and legal and the copyright. It was definitely a year of adversity. It took it definitely. I do my best, right? I try to stay calm and confident with all this and do what dogs taught me to do, but I'm also a human. I'm still learning and growing too. So it definitely took a slight emotional toll on me dealing with this stuff, especially the first one, when I felt like I go above and beyond to try to give value to people and try to, like, give away stuff and be in a state of giving, and like feeling like you're punished by these platforms for doing that was not the greatest feeling in the world. But I went through it, and I'm actually glad it happened, because it gave us a ton of knowledge on how to proceed moving forward to not deal with this crap anymore. So I made the executive decision in November. I said to Jamie on my team, I said, look, I think I'm just going to stop posting right now. We got to get this shit all sorted out so we can go like real in 2026 and do this the right way. And that's what we're doing. So I've been working tirelessly on planning all this content and dealing with the back end and all the crap and everything, but we're getting close to the finish line of being able, which is actually the starting line for me, of now we take this content to the next level. I'm going to take this community to the next level, and we'll actually make a change in this world. Maybe I'm ambitious with that. I don't give a shit. I believe we can make a change in this world, because look, I'm the one I talk to these people. I talk to people who have very little money, and I talk to super rich people, everything in between. I talk to the whole thing of our society. Everyone's struggling with the same shit. It's the same thing. Like the celebrities, they're dealing with the celebrities and rich people. They're anxious. They're frustrated. They don't know how to walk the dog. They don't know when to reinforce. They're allowing the wrong thing. Same all the way through. And it's just a different version of that through. So this is not a money problem. This is a knowledge problem and awareness problem. So to me, I'm not going to put any of this information behind paywalls. The only paywall that I'm going to put it behind is when you take my personal time for just one person, because that means if I'm just talking to you right now doing this, I can't talk to anybody else. So that's that kind of the trade. And it works for me because I love those individual calls. We get really deep into them and really solve the problem of what's happening, or at least give people the understanding of what's happening, so then they understand why they're making the changes and the things they're doing. All right. Awesome. We're ready to go in 2026. So we start, or what? I look at TikTok, the first thing goes, can I work for you? It's like, yeah, sign up. Info at Pack Leader Dogs. By the way, if you want to work for us, we are really focused on bringing people who have the right energy, who are the right people who we can teach about dogs. So like I did it earlier in my career. This is good for business owners who are working in the dog field. I used to do it where I would just hire people who were skilled with dogs. But that brought a lot of ego. That brought a lot of not paying attention to people's personality and energy and things like that. So just like a pack of dogs or a group, if you bring one wrong energy in, it can affect the whole pack. So someone's got to deal with that shit. So I take the leadership in this thing too, and we don't let that happen. So we're looking for people who are motivated, who actually want to make a career, who actually want to like change the world and do something with their life, have real purpose to make a change and make money and enjoy what they're doing along the way. So if you want to work, that's if you want to work here, that's what you have to be able to do. So, all right, let's get into the first question. You know what's great about doing this stuff is I rewatch these and I notice I assess and evaluate myself and I'm like, damn, do I get fast talking and rambling because I get excited. So I'm like a dog. I'm like an excited pitty who like got to go play in the yard now. And I'm like, oh, what do I do with all this? So I'm learning how to keep it. I guess I'll have to do treadmill or something before they put a backpack on before I do these lives from this point forward. Who's the first one? Who's coming on? Kiana, are you ready to come on? All right. What's up, Kiana?
Hi, Steve.
How are you?
Not much. I'm in New York.
All right.
And just wanted to say congrats on the new baby.
Thank you. So how can I help you? What's going on?
Okay, yeah. So I have a 4-month-old Cavapoo. We got him a month ago. So we got him when he was 3 months old. His final vaccinations were last weekend, so he hasn't had any real walks yet. Just backyard potty in the same spot, leash walks around the property on pavement, not on grass, because he tends to pick up bunny poop and mulch a lot.
Yeah.
The problem is he's not very food motivated, and I've been watching your videos for a long time. Like I watched your video with Rumi, the Cavapoo puppy, and he was like jumping up and down. She was jumping up and down trying to get the food. We have to lock him in the crate with the food, and he still doesn't touch it. He grazed before we got him, and we tried to put him on a schedule now, but even with scheduled meals, toppers, treats, nothing.
What does he do? He won't eat? He just doesn't eat the food?
He eats very little and only if he's in the mood. So if
And then what, do you leave the food out? Do you leave it out?
Only for 10 to 15 minutes, and then I take it away.
Is there any issues with his weight or anything right now? Is he getting underweight?
When we got him, he was underweight, but since we've gotten him, he's reached that spot because we've been really trying to get him to eat by using a lot of different things. Like I made him my own personal homemade broth to mix the kibble in. Like we tried a lot of tricks to get him to eat, and it has been working.
Did the breeder do any like antibiotics with him?
I'm not sure,
because I would find that out. This is a good one for everyone to know too. Is this is a common one that I'm seeing is the puppy had like, at the place had some worms or had something going on, and they give a couple antibiotic rounds kind of thing. But then the person getting the dog doesn't realize that. So then you're getting a dog whose gut got wiped of all their bacteria, and then sometimes that can cause them to lack an appetite to eat. So it's something you may want to.
It's been a month.
It's what?
It's been a month.
Yeah, I know, but he said my point is
the vet didn't find anything.
The vet did a test and stuff.
They did a stool test. They said it was normal. Now I don't know what that entails, but they did a stool test and it was normal. Like there's nothing wrong with him medically.
So is the big concern just that he's not eating?
The big concern is I don't know how to train a puppy who's not interested in treats.
So you got to find what motivates him. First of all, this is a good thing to know is when you're practicing leadership with a dog, like them pleasing you is a huge form of motivation for them. But if they don't see you that way, it's like, no food. Like, why would I do this shit for you? So you're taking.
So I taught him. Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say I taught him how to sit purely by, oh, good job, like just praising him on, because if I'm asking him to sit down to any of these like commands, and if he's not interested or if he's distracted, there are times where he pushes the treat away with his nose or sits with his back to me. Like he makes a show out of not taking the treat.
What about toys?
I'm just like, same with toys. If I hold a toy and I say, hey, sit down, whatever, he does it a few times, or if he's not in the mood, he'll just walk away from me. Like he'll just completely ignore it.
Yeah, well, you could put a leash on him and not let him walk away.
He starts biting the leash and gets very frustrated.
Yeah, but that's what you're gonna have to deal with now. Then not deal with that when he's 2 years old.
So how do I deal with it when I can't?
Here's the thing: I'd have to see how
him?
he's doing it, because the thing is, when they start, look, when a puppy's like, I'm just gonna grab the mouth, like we have to figure out some way to interrupt that, to tell them that we disagree with that behavior. But like, you could just like do the leash. The only thing is there's a little risk with the little teeth, right? Because I could like pull a tooth out or something like that. So some things like that, like with a puppy, these are things where you could consider like a little compressed air spray thing. It sounds crazy.
Right.
Like I don't personally use that kind of stuff, but for certain people who don't have the experience of the puppy to know the timing, the energy, like what intensity should I touch that puppy to make sure he doesn't see it coming and it's proper. I'm like, yeah, just use the air. So then you just have like, my point was you could have the compressed air. Then when you put the leash on, he's like, okay, I'm going to start biting the leash. And then you would not want to like take it out and rush it into his face so he sees it.
Yeah.
It's like stealthy, like, oh, he's doing that. You take your time, like come a little close and go, but you would say no before you do it. No.
Mhm.
And he's like, what? And then he might freak out a little bit, like, what was that? Just maintain it, let him go through that. And then he settles, and then just go back to what you were doing. Because he's just gonna learn that disregarding you is like, oh, so I'm gonna disregard, and then because you have me trapped, I'm gonna just protest. That's fine. You can protest, but it's not gonna work for you. It's not gonna get you out of that situation.
So 2 things I'm gonna add to that. One is he's a very nervous puppy. He gets scared of new toys even, especially if they make a sound.
Okay.
And 2 is if he gets scared on a leash, he will do a running jump and like fall back on the floor. Like I've seen it multiple times.
How do you
and
respond when he does that? Yeah. How do you respond?
Calmly kind of pull him back in, shorten the leash.
Yeah.
That's it.
And he's going to do that. They're going to do that stuff. They're going to have those reactions in the beginning, like, oh my God, what was that? So then what matters there, just like a kid, it's like, well, how did mom react to that? You know what I mean? So if mom reacts, wait, you're okay. Don't worry. Then the puppy's like, or the kid's like, okay. So that confirms there's something to be nervous about with that.
Right.
But if he goes, and then he's like, hey, settle down. Nothing to be worried about here. And then you let that finish there, meaning like you take the time to just let him settle there and not proceed while he's still nervous. So finish there with him calm. And he's like, oh, that just happened. Holy shit. And he settles down. Good boy. Now let's go from here.
So given all of this information, and he hasn't really been socialized, he hasn't been going out for walks, we need to start doing that. How do I keep his attention on me or on the walk when he's not really food motivated? Like if we see another dog, what do I do? How do I put a harness on?
We got to figure out it's interesting because you have a dog who you're saying is not motivated. It's weird because you're saying he's not motivated, or she or he. I forgot what you said. He's not motivated by food. He's not motivated by toys. But then and you're telling me he's nervous, which makes sense, right? But then with you, he'll grab the leash and challenge you.
If I push him past his limits. So technically, if I tell him no, he'll drop it.
Do you get what I'm saying with that? Like if you push him past his limits, but my point is if he was that nervous of a dog, his limit would be the moment you looked at him. You know what I'm saying? So he's obviously not that nervous where he's saying like, yeah, I'm a nervous puppy, but with you, mom, give me my leash. So that's my point is like most people are thinking, how do I deal with the walk out there? But my point is deal with that first. Because that's gonna matter outside. It's like, hey, I'm talking to you. We need to do something. So there's 2 sides of this. There's the side of motivating the dog to do it, right? You use food, you use toys, you use excited energy and all that thing to do it. But there's also things the dog has to do even when they're not motivated to do it. So why do you need to stop biting the leash? Why do I have to stop biting the leash? Because I said no. That's why. I'm a leader of this house. And human beings are just complicated. So we go, yeah, but and then we just think of all these reasons and all this thing. I'm just like, yeah, but just bring it back to right here. This dog is saying, I'm not motivated by food. I'm not motivated by these things because then there's got to be something that motivates him to live and do things. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we have to do a little bit of it, figuring out that part. And that's the motivation side. But then there's also the because I said so side. This is not talking about the dog world enough, in my opinion, because at the end of the day, when you bring that dog near a child, why won't that dog bite the kid? For what reason? Why? Yeah, we motivated him. We showed him the right way, but also because you said that's not allowed. And there's a consequence for biting a child. And then it's a matter with the dog. What's the consequence for that dog? Your dog being sensitive and nervous, probably much less to snap him out of it, you know? But in the beginning, look, this is what I would tell you. You're in New York. Something you may want to consider is bring the freaking puppy here and we'll get it in round balanced dogs to start before you bring it out into the jungle of New York. Where are you, in the city of New York or no?
Long Island.
Oh, Long Island. Okay. So your suburbs?
Yeah.
Okay. So you get, or you bring the puppy out. Look, you're going to get into a thing of the motivation, but to be honest, when I get a puppy, I don't really bring that much food in the beginning. It's really just the leash and just kind of like, let's teach you how to yield to leash pressure. So my point is like something you can do just inside your house, put the leash on and start walking around the house with the puppy.
If we're walking, he's good. He's not biting. He's not jumping. Okay. Yeah. It's just settling. He doesn't sit down if the leash is on. He
doesn't settle down. Like, what do you mean? Like inside the house?
Yes.
Oh, so that's what you just help him. Like, so do a bunch of like movement training, like walking, and then he'll start getting tired. Then once he starts getting tired, now start moving into like, go to your bed, go to a dog bed and make him stay there and start practicing like a place.
He keeps biting the place that we took it away.
That's what I'm saying. We have to get past that part of extinguishing that crap. It's one that this is the thing that people don't understand. So many people, and a lot of this dog world is telling people like you, don't ever tell no to that puppy. If he's biting the bed or if he's biting the leash, just ignore it. Respectfully, I disagree with that. Look, if a puppy just went on the leash and just stopped, yeah, I'm going to ignore that. But if he's grabbing it and challenging me with it, or if he's grabbing the bed and trying to really rip it up, I'm not ignoring that because I know that's going to get worse. So I address it there. I deal with it there in a puppyhood, and then it's dealt with because it's dealt with in imprint, period. When mom says no, I have to stop, period. And then that's downloaded, and then they go through life that way. The problem that I deal with a lot is that they get the downloader. When mom says no, it's whether or not she has a treat, if I feel like it, that if she's busy or not, that like all those things. And then so it's like if I feel like it, and then the puppy's now an adult who's got different hormones now and is like more serious about saying no, I'm not doing it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, what tangible state do I need to get to before I'm like, okay, it's okay to walk him?
When you feel like you can walk around your house and the puppy just is pretty much on a loose leash following you around. Change directions, go different places. When the puppy's saying, I want to go there, you do enough pressure to bring them the other way and go.
Okay.
So once you feel like when you're walking.
Does that, but he doesn't look at me.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine in the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah, he's gonna, my point is like if you are in the lead and you're just changing directions, he is gonna have to focus on you. He might not stare at you. I don't think that's normal anyway for a dog to just be like staring at their human. That's obedience, like competition shit. You know, you're not gonna, like, to me, if I was walking on the street and I saw someone and the dog was just like, staring at them, I'd be like, man, they're doing like trick training shit. It's like, but what's the point of that? For what? I would rather have the dog in a calm follower state who's just on a loose leash.
Okay.
Yeah. So see, my point is your movement and your changes, even though it might not be staring, the dog will be paying attention and you're doing something that a leader would do, which is you go where you want to go. You're not waiting to see where's the puppy going? Where does the puppy want to smell? What does the puppy want to eat? It's like, well, it doesn't really matter. I'm the leader. I'm mom. You have to behave like the puppy's mom. And puppy's mom is like, time to go over here. And the puppy doesn't. She goes, let's go. You know what I mean? It's not like, well, if I get, I'll give you some milk and maybe you'll come. It's like they don't, you know what I mean? They don't do that. All right.
Okay. One last question because I don't want to take too much of your time. So we do walks around the property outside on the pavement, and he follows me. He doesn't bite the leash. He doesn't pull. Occasionally he pulls. That's fine. But if people are walking past, pulls like crazy.
All right.
How do I
get it. So look at the one thing you have to realize is that you haven't really done exercise with this dog yet, right? Because you haven't taken him out because of the vaccine thing. So I totally understand it. I'll talk about that in a separate thing, but I think there's like a middle ground where like the vets are so focused on the dog not getting physically sick, which I agree with. It's a young puppy and vulnerable. I'm also like saying, but we have to be in a prevention mode about them psychologically too. We have to be thinking about that too. So there is a fine line of potentially getting like putting them in like a stroller and bringing them outside, carrying them outside, bringing them to place so they can see things and get exposed to things, you know, like my shepherd I had as a puppy here. So I had him outside the whole time, but he was around other dogs and things like that. I took the risk. I was aware of the risk of bringing him around dogs, but I also knew the dogs that he was going to be around and things like that. So my thing for you is that it sounds like to me that your puppy's a little bit underfulfilled, which makes sense because you haven't been able to really get him out and do that stuff. So that means there's likely some pent up energy, which is like making it a little bit more challenging to focus on like this task of doing this, like, oh, just calmly walk and do this. He might be like, yeah, but what about all these things? And what about all that? That it might not be like, he's not be ready to just be calmly paying attention. So the more you take him out, he might be all over the place in the beginning of the walk. But then by halfway through the walk, he starts getting a little bit more focused and he starts coming in a little bit. And then you're focusing on that progress. And ideally, you build upon that each walk. And then if one walk's a little bit of a setback, so be it. You try to figure out what was I doing what could I change and make it better for the next walk? And then you increase it on that walk. And remember, you're learning throughout this process. This is what I remind people is like this whole time I've been working with dogs, I'm learning from them. Like what works for this dog. You have to be a little bit flexible. It's not this just like rigid dog training thing. Sit down, stay, come. It's like, well, for this puppy, if he walks on like over here, this is better. You need to be able to work with the dog too, the individual animal. I think that's a little bit missing in this dog world. It's a little bit like, oh, you have a dog, do this method. Feed them, pat, reward. Well, in what way? With what food? At what timing? At what intensity? Who's the human doing it? How do they feel when they're doing it? Where are they doing it? What's the timing? You know what I'm saying? All this stuff really matters. So something to consider. I'm not trying to sell you on that, but if you wanted to if you were like, my concern is like the socialization with dogs, just get the puppy here and we'll do like a nice calm group and we'll just let him go in the park with some dogs and walk with some dogs and stuff, just so he can be around dogs and have a good imprint being social with dogs.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Be good.
Thank you.
That's what that it sounds to me like that So this is one this like vets. I understand the vets, right? They're talking to the entire public and they're saying like, yeah, you can't, your dog could get sick. So they're generally speaking. So in certain scenarios, like if you're in a city and there's potentially stray dogs and there's potentially disease in the area, yeah, like I realize that. But like for me on my ranch, like what the hell's the dog going to get here? So I take them out and did things with them. I knew the vaccination things. It's a very tough one because there's the physical risk, but then I'm so focused because of the behavior on the psychological risk of like keeping a puppy indoors until they're. I mean, that's that 3 and 4 months is like out of follow, play, explore. That's the follow phase. So if you're not taking them out, then you better be inside, really working on following state inside, big time. And figuring out some way to exercise the dog, take them outside. You can do a walk in the backyard. So I remind people, if you have a decent enough yard, like a 1/3 acre yard or something, take them around and just do laps in the yard and then change the direction and go the other way and then do a bunch of laps. And just walking in a circle, you're going to see that dog try to go left, right, pull, go back, stop, bite the leash. You're going to deal with all that crap. Then once you've dealt with all that crap, bring that puppy out onto the walk. But yeah, it's an interesting one. It's believe it or not, there are puppies who are not food motivated, but it's usually because of nervousness. It's usually because they're so pent up and like their energy, they're so wound up. It's like food doesn't even like register to them, But some dogs just aren't as motivated as other dogs.
Hey, what's up? Congratulations on your baby.
Thank you.
I really appreciate what you mentioned about the social cues. I think that's something that I need to work on more with my pet. It's a 6-year-old Goldendoodle. I'm in Queens, New York, by the way.
Okay.
So I think I definitely want to get to your office and
Yeah.
work with our dog. We got the dog at a shop just before the pandemic. 6 years later, New Year's Day, my dog stole 4 ounces of dark chocolate. We had to go to the hospital in Long Island. He's not good around people, dogs, and especially vets. He actually ripped out his own toenail to avoid being handled. So
How old is he?
it's a
How old
big
is he?
6 years now.
Oh, 6 years. Okay.
6 years now.
And he's a golden
He
doodle.
was kind of a golden doodle, so we know how the golden doodles can be. And it's just worrying because trying to be the pack leader, um, uh, appetite wise, he eats when he wants. He's not really motivated that way necessarily. I'm more concerned about his aggressiveness to people and dogs. He's neutered. Since he's been neutered, he's much more aggressive actually because I believe they didn't do it correctly. So he's really sensitive when you get near his behind to like cut his hair or doing his nails. Getting him to stop jumping. I have that control more or less, but the family does not buy in necessarily. So it's hard to keep that discipline from keeping him from jumping on people. It's a concern because we have a grandma here. We have a 92-year-old other grandma here that could break a hip if that dog
Right.
jumps on them.
Of course.
We got him sick. He was malnourished from from the store, but we just took it on, and I'm just concerned how I could do my best for this dog, which may be bringing him to you. But it's the aggressiveness. He has bitten me. He's bitten other people.
So
He
what
bit a
causes him
child,
to
which
bite?
was
What causes him to
serious.
bite? Like what triggers it?
I think the one that concerned me the most. Well, if he goes into his cage because he stole a piece of food, yeah, you can't do anything with that. We had visitors here, 2 twin girls, 4 or 5 years old. He was sitting on a chair, which he shouldn't do, but I was still coming up the stairs. And I believe the child was just hugging the dog or whatever, but grabbed it by the face, and the dog reacted. Not in time for me to get there, but it was enough of a situation to go to the hospital. The child was fine, no real scarring at all. But the next time it was reported. So the next time this dog could be
Yeah.
in serious trouble.
Mm-hmm. Who lives in the home?
There are 4 of us. We do have visitors who are unhoused right now. So we have a 52-year-old woman and her 92-year-old mother. We have grandma downstairs, and my wife and daughter who is turning 13
How's the
in
relationship?
Queens.
So how's the relationship with like your daughter, the wife, the grandmother, and stuff? Like how's that? How's the dog with them?
The dog is fine with them, but it's really permissive, right? So they'll pass food down from the table. they like the jumping. They like having the dog jump on them and get excited and jump on the couch. So I'm the disciplinarian saying, down only when you're invited up,
Mm-hmm.
and things like that.
So what is it? Is
But
like
for the most part,
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, that was it.
The family's not totally on board with like the structure and stuff.
It's not a team effort.
Yeah, to say the least, right? Yeah, okay. That's part of the problem. You know what I mean? So there's inconsistency for sure. And that can be because sometimes what can happen is like when you're the one who's the only one who's really like supplying the rules, boundaries, limitations, and stuff, the dog can see you as like, what's your problem? Like everybody else surrenders to me. Like, what the hell's your problem, Ruben? Leave me alone. You know? Like,
Okay.
you know? So that's where it can like shoot you in the foot a little bit. But so is it what's the context though of like the bite? Is it like I obviously you said the kid grabbed the dog in the face and there was a thing. So that one, like, I mean, yeah, that's not that concerning to me that happened. Like if it was just like he went across the room and bit it, yeah, it's different. But a kid coming up to his face and grabbing his face and doing
it's proximity. Like I had my mother-in-law visiting us from out of country, and just passing the little hall between the dining room and living room. It's like 4 feet, and crossing him nearby, he just bit her on the butt. So it's a lot of times just proximity things that just activate him.
Okay. And when does he bite you? You said he's bit you. In what way?
Oh, when he ran into the cage and I tried to retrieve, I think it was again it was chocolate. I think so. That was an urgency, and he got me.
Yeah.
My wife said I deserved it. I was like, thank you very much, but
yeah, thanks, honey. You know?
Yeah, appreciate the support.
Yeah, exactly. I got to see it. We got to see this guy.
He's mostly good with food. Like if it's on the floor, he sees me. He knows not to go there.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not around,
this is what I would say. Like I can definitely
terrifying.
help you with him, right? I can definitely help you with him, but you're gonna have to have a talk with the family of like if we're gonna do this, then like you guys have to be on board, or else it's pointless. Like you're just gonna waste your time and money if they're not.
Thank you. I have an amazing pet groomer who lives nearby. She's a big fan of yours also.
Nice.
And the first time she worked on him, which was maybe a year ago, he bit her in every part that should not be bitten. Well, by a dog. Well, he's just really not good with people cutting him.
So can anybody groom him?
It's I can do it with time. She does it with time. I have a muzzle attached to the leash, so at any time I'm going out that he seems to be getting agitated, I'm ready to slap the muzzle on.
How's he deal with the muzzle?
He'll walk and he'll try to shake it off, and I correct him and just keep that going. But he doesn't like it.
Yeah.
I've tried reinforcing it with treats or whatever, but he doesn't like it. He does, and I have like different varieties. One that just closes as he pulls.
Yeah. This is a guy I have to see him because it's very difficult to say without seeing any videos of him or like he's seeing him to give you advice. This is one that's like a particular one because I got to see with aggression with this, like he's like showing aggression in multiple areas plus towards you guys. It's not that he's like impossible to work with. It's just one that I don't want to give you something based on this info that there's something I would have saw and be like, maybe not do that. So
and he's not difficult to walk, but he doesn't really want to take a long or a short walk, like 10 or 20 minutes. Is not really his thing. He wants to be near the house, unless we're going to the school, which is basically 2 blocks away. Otherwise, he doesn't really want to take much of a walk either.
Mm-hmm. Where does he live? Where does he live? Like, where does he sleep and stuff? Where does he sleep?
He sleeps where he wants. I mean, the cage is there. Sometimes he goes in there, but he'll sleep mostly on the floor near the door.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And he has a little bed in the bedroom with us that he'll go sometimes, and then after a while he just goes off and sleeps someplace else.
So like in your everyday living, are you like, is like the family like concerned about him? Like he's gonna just might bite somebody out of nowhere? Is it like everyday thing, or is it more like contextual, like when a certain person comes or a certain thing happens?
I would say it's more when someone comes that they're concerned, and just when they come home, they love the jumping and excitedness. I've tried it on my family. They don't like me jumping on them. So
yeah, I know.
Obviously, it's just the dog.
I know. What they have to understand is that it's just they're set. Like, look, this is what people don't realize about the whole front door and like the greeting, this excited greeting and jumping thing. is that they're training the dog to meet people that way. Right. So every time, if you come home every day, like think about it, if you came home with your kid and you said, this is how we do a greeting every day, they're probably going to do that greeting with other people. Right. So if you're doing this greeting, excitement, jumping, invading space. So it's basically excitement, arousal. Okay. Now a stranger comes. Right. So excitement, arousal, but holy shit, I don't know who you are. Oh, do I bite you? Do I run? Do I bark? Do I do? Because my mind is up in this state. So this is what people see when I say this stuff about when Caesar said this about no touch, no talk, no eye contact. He's been taking shit for this for 20 years for saying that thing because people are like,
Yeah.
what do you expect me to do? Come in and just ignore my dog? They're seeing it as like,
Yeah.
but I love my dog and I want to say hello. And I'm like, I understand that side. I get it. I got you. I'm just saying that doing it that way is going to be, it could potentially have a negative effect on that dog's behavior down the road. So that's what I'm saying. Like if you keep getting your dog excited at the front door, all right, we get aroused at the front door and I trust these people. So everything's fine. I just jump on you and I lick you and we pet and all this shit. But now it's like, okay, someone's here. Oh, it's a plumber. Why is he moving? Who's this? Oh, that can happen. You know what I mean?
It's funny you mentioned that because I do follow that also. And the family's like, why don't you say hello to Frenchie? That's his name.
Yeah.
I say, because I say hello when I say hello, not when
Yeah.
he wants to.
That's right.
When he's calm, he's sitting down and he lifts his paw, to try to influence me. I'm like,
Yeah.
wait till you
Yeah.
calm down.
Yes, absolutely. That's
But
the way it's
getting
supposed to be.
everyone else to follow it.
That's the way it's supposed to be. And what people say is like, why would you make me ignore the dog? I'm saying you're not ignoring the dog. You're ignoring that behavior or that energy of the dog. You're saying, I prefer not to connect to you with arousal and you mauling me to the ground with jumping on me and your nails and shit. I prefer to walk in and you be happy-go-lucky and we say hello to each other, or calm and we say hello.
Thank you.
So if you want more, like if we could do something in person, you could bring him out for assessment. I could see this guy. I could give you way more of a good assessment of this guy and what we could do with him.
Okay, I'll find out on one of your pages how to contact
info,
you.
Just email info@packleader.org, or you can go on my website, just fill out the form, and then they'll reach out to you.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
All right, Ruben. Be good. you could have that lifestyle with the dog. That's one way to do it. Or it's like, hey, do your homework and you might get a PlayStation or you might get candy or whatever people do. So, all right, let's go to the next one. I can't hear you. Just turn on your mic.
Sorry about that.
There you go. There you go.
Now can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay. Hi. Congrats on the baby.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I am from Northern Illinois.
Okay.
So my question isn't necessarily specifically about my dog, because I think that, I mean, I've been following your videos since we adopted him in February. He's 11 months old, a Great Pyrenees mix, and he seems to be just fine. The training is going well, but the actual problem I'm having is getting the training to stick, because of my dad. My dad lives with me. He absolutely loves animals. He hasn't had a dog since he was a teenager, and so he loves my dog. And I would like to know if you have advice on how to explain why the training has to be consistent. Using, dog psychology explanation to explain to my dad that we don't let him jump. He doesn't jump. He doesn't mouth us, but he wants to roughhouse with the dog.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to claim space with the dog. So my dog walks all over him, and then all our training goes out the window. So how do I explain to him in a way that he could understand that how we actually need to do things, so I can keep the training consistent?
Why don't you? What have you tried so far?
Like with
talking to him about it.
Well, he's super stubborn. So
sounds like it.
I've said I explain, like, if you don't claim the space, he's just going to push into you. His response is always, "Oh no, it's fine. I'm okay with it." And like my first ever dog, he was a pit mix, so I was very, very particular about how he was trained, because if he accidentally bit someone, he would immediately be condemned, because he's a pit bull. And so I did not accept the answer, it doesn't bother me. If that dog mouthed anyone, it would be no.
Yeah.
You don't let him do it. I don't care if you're okay with it.
Right.
It's my dog,
right.
my rules,
Right.
That's basically what I've tried.
One question I have for you is, who owns the home?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my house. He rents a room.
So he does pay. Look, these things are difficult. So, because the real thing comes down to, like, here's the real story, right? You own the home, but he is paying to be there. So it's like a little bit about, the reason I'm saying that is, look, if you just own the home, it could be like, look, here's the final thing is, I want you here, Dad. I want you to live here and do this stuff, but this is my dog, and I feel like you're not respecting what my decisions are of how I want to raise the dog, which is, I have to accept that that's the way you want to do it, but I can't have you living here if that's what you're going to do. That's
simple enough.
You know what I mean? And then then you have to see how he responds, because at the end of the day, like, obviously I don't know your father and things. This is an interesting one, which I found is, like, he's going to say it's fine and I love the dog. So something I wrote in your notes here, one big thing I put in quotes, he loves the dog, right? I said he loves the dog. That was one of my notes I took, right? What he likely, and I don't know this again because I've never met him, but what likely is the case is that he loves the way that dog makes him feel.
Yeah.
He loves that the dog gives him attention. He loves that the dog makes him feel seen. He loves that the dog gives him love and pets and all the affection, that he loves that. But so when these conversations happen with family members, it's like two conversations are happening. One is Amy is saying, hey, I want to be responsible dog owner and do prevention and raise my dog in the right way. The problem is the conversation your father's having is like, but this dog is fulfilling an emotional need for me. And the things you're telling me not to do is preventing me from dealing with my emotional needs. You see it? So it's like, you're telling him this is why for the training. He probably knows it. He's probably like, yeah, I get it. But emotionally, this is what I want. So we either have to get him to see it, which is like not easy to do if someone's closed-minded. You know what I mean? Like Caesar told me this years ago. I remember it was one of the most like liberating, I guess is the right word, things of I took, like, when I have clients, I take it really seriously. I care a lot. Probably in early in my career, probably cared way too much, more than I should have. But I cared. Let's just put it this way: I cared more than the clients did. You know what I mean? Like, you would come
Yeah.
to me, and I would be like, care so much, and then you'd be leaving, like, all right, that was good, and I'm like, I really make sure she gets it. I hope she got. You know, it's like I was so much about it. So then I worked with somebody. I went way over the time. Was yanking and pulling and this and that, got walking nicely, Literally the next morning that the session happened to be down the street. I walked out the door. I looked down the street, back in a harness, letting the dog pull over, and the guy's on the phone. And I was like borderline where I was like almost going to quit the dog industry because I was just like, I don't want to deal with this shit. I'm trying to help people with their dogs and people, and they don't even care. They're not even going to do it. So I go to Caesar. Have you ever given up on your clients ever? And I'm expecting to be like, never. I would never. He goes, of course. And I'm like, wow. And I'm like, why? And he goes, look, if you have a human being who is closed-minded, who is refusing to listen to anything, there's nothing you can do. You can try to inspire your best, you know what I mean? By the end of the day, humans are the only species who have free will. So your father can say, with my free will, I choose not to listen to any of your direction. So that's unfortunately the case. So how do we get him to see it? Is more of this is what I always suggest, is not in a way of an attack type thing, like you're doing this, you're doing that, you're causing this, blah, 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 because that's just going to trigger people to go into defensive. No, I'm not. I'm fine. I know dogs. You're just going to argue. It's more of like asking questions of being like, hey, Dad, I was just wondering, I was thinking about this the other day. Obviously, like, I'm asking you to do things and like respect my decisions with the dog and stuff like that, and you're clearly not doing it. I'm just wondering why that is. Because that causes them to not just get defensive. Usually it's to like, well, because the dog is or because this, or he might give you data of saying, because I feel like you're ordering me around about this dog. I just don't want to hear it. I'm not saying that's the case, you know what I'm saying, Amy? But like that, he's going to give you some information of why. And then you have to decide at that point of saying, like, do I feel like I'm going to be able to get this guy to see it? You know, share my content. Look, I talked to this guy live. Show him this video when I post it. You fast forward to this point, you know? And just to say, like, if he is watching this, say to your dad, like, we totally get you that you want to like pet this dog and all those things, that we want you to pet the dog and do these things. All we're asking is that he's doing it at the right times. So it doesn't negatively affect this dog, to have this dog become unstable. That's going to cause Amy to have to deal with an unstable Pyrenees. Did you say it was a Pyrenees? Yeah, Pyrenees.
Yeah, he's a Great Pyrenees mix.
Yeah.
The other mix is Pit, Husky, and Rottweiler, said the DNA test, but we don't know.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's really like when I deal with this kind of stuff, you would be shocked how much family counseling I do. It's like I become more of a therapist for the relationship of the family to get them on the same page than connecting that to the dog than the dog. It's kind of like, but that's what I found is it's not in a way of attacking and telling people what to do. People just have this thing of becoming defensive, which I get. And a lot of people don't know themselves and they're not aware of themselves. So they're fragile. And you say like, why? Like, hey, you're petting the dog, right? No, I'm not. They don't even look or no, they don't even rationalize, am I or not? No, I'm just not, you know, where the difference of more of asking questions and just saying, hey, did you like, look, I talked to this guy thing. I'm just curious what you think about this, what he said about it, you know, because look, if he's not going to listen to it from me, who's talked to thousands of people, and say like, oh, I get what that guy's perspective is of like, so I can't. So you guys are saying that I can still pet the dog and have a relationship with him. You just want me to be a little bit more aware of when I do it and not do it at certain times. It's like, yeah, that's all we want. That's all we want you to do is just be more conscious about when you're doing this, just to realize, am I petting this dog at a time that could potentially be a bad time for the dog or not? If he says, I don't give a shit about any of this and I want to do it, then that's a thing where it's like, we have to have the conversation about you not living here.
My last question, is there something, like a piece of advice that, so I could tell him that it's benefiting the dog, like something to benefit the dog. This is what we do for him, because obviously he does care about the dog. He wants him to be a good dog. I mean, he is, for the most part, he just, you know, does start mouthing him, you know, and we tell him to stop and everything. And I mean, he's still, you know, young. He's a puppy. He's only 11 months. And, you know, he does love my dad too. But my dad he's kind of sick. So his skin's really fragile. So I'm afraid that he's going to start getting injured. So what would be something that I can tell my dad that basically it benefits the dog, it's good for the dog? Because I think that would sit better with him if he knows that it's good for him. Yeah, well, that he's contributing.
Right. It's more of explaining to him that, like, by allowing him to be pushy and invade space, it teaches him that he can do that to people. And you look, like it might happen the day that happens. You take him outside and you're sitting somewhere and he just walks up to somebody and just pushes on them, and when they're eating food or something, right? And it's like that's the problem. Is then that person says, "What's wrong with your dog?" And then this whole thing that puts him in a bad situation because we've taught him something to do that society of humans doesn't really like. You know what I mean? Like, sir, there's going to be many people in society who aren't going to be so fond of a 140-pound Pyrenees just invading their space to get affection.
Yeah.
You know,
he does look scary, but thankfully he's only 80 right now. I really hope he doesn't get much bigger.
Yeah. No, but it's that's the hard part. It's a really good topic that you brought up here. It's one of it really comes down to the person and the ability, like the person that you're talking to, and then your ability to communicate it with them. So my suggestion is, in connecting, I'm looking at a Pyrenees in our park right now, as you said. That's so funny. But as you're talking to him about it, and more of like a questioning way, but not questioning him, just trying to understand. Because you have to switch this conversation from the dog to like, how come you don't respect what I ask you to do in my house? And it makes me feel this way. You know what I mean? Because that's communication. You're being honest and vulnerable and saying, look, instead of me, I really don't enjoy telling you to do this stuff and trying to like get you to like do it. I'm just trying to understand, is it my approach that's doing it? Is it like whatever? Like, you can find out from him what it is, because it makes him actually have to like verbalize why he's actually not listening to his daughter in her house. Again, he's your daughter. That's your daughter. Like, that's his daughter too. So you got to remember, like, he was like, you're still Amy, the little 2-year-old to him, to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you know, Amy? You know, it's to a degree, like, I deal with my parents to a degree sometimes. I'll be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And my mom's like, are you sure you should do that with the dog? I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure, you know, like, so you deal with it. You're going to have to deal with that stuff. But being able to communicate, because my point is, you would never want to do it of just like, all right, get out of the house, Dad. Or go to the opposite of just like, whatever, I just got to surrender to him, like fucking my dog up. Yeah. Like, those two are not going to work, because that's just going to end up in a bad thing. So my point is, if you have this thing, like, let's just say he gets all pissed off and says, fuck you, I'm leaving the house. I don't think he would, but if he did do that, at the very least, you're like, I came to him honestly, vulnerable, and did it, and he wasn't able to control himself, and he doesn't have the ability to like listen and hear me out of this thing. And some parents don't. Yeah, they don't want to. I think that's, to see it.
That's all really, really good advice. I wasn't sure how you were going to answer, but I figured, obviously you're not just training dogs, you're working with people too. Yeah. So I'm sure you've worked with so many different people and so many different personalities, and
so much.
So
I do. This has been
really,
it's a very, great advice. I'm glad you asked this question, because it's a really good one for everybody to hear, because like so much of this dog training community is so focused on the dog, training the dog. What technique, what tool, what thing. It's like, well, how do I deal with Dad who's not following the rules? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, what do you do when the dog's fine, but the people aren't?
Right. How do we deal? How do we navigate? Because that's a big part of this industry that people aren't doing. And that's what I'm suggesting to people getting into this industry is like, learn about human psychology, learn how to influence people, learn how to do sales. Because by the way, when I like that, you're selling your father. You know what I mean? Like, I had to learn sales because I had to sell my father to see that this is a good thing. This is valuable for him and the dog to do this. You know what I mean? So it's like being able to influence and being able to listen and give the right piece of information and stuff. But that's really, I had to learn that over time. It's been kind of self-taught, because I did it to myself, of holding myself accountable and figuring out like, where are the spots that I really need to focus on that are valuable, and be honest with myself and be vulnerable, and not listen to this ego that's been created of like, oh, I just know dogs, like whatever. It's like, like, I don't even go with that. I just go into like, I'm just here with you talking about dogs now, and I have this experience. It's like, am I good or bad? I don't know. I don't have that image in my mind about it. Am I like, I'm just here. I think that's the best way. And if you need more help, like if you wanted to do, if your dad were open to it, like we could do a video call.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think this advice is gonna, I think it's gonna sit really well with him.
Okay.
Especially when he really realizes that it will benefit all of us, but especially it's going to, benefit Whiskey, the dog,
So that tells me
he'll be able to have.
That tells me he actually does have care for the dog, because he wants to do what's best for the dog. You know what I mean? He just needs this.
He absolutely loves like all animals. Like we have 5 cats too. You probably saw one on the stairs behind me, and he'll literally come down. Like he has his own it's kind of like a studio apartment just without a kitchen. He'll come down just to say hi to the cats.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You tell him.
So no, he really loves him.
Tell him this also. It'd be like, I talked to Steve, and he's dealt with thousands of dogs and people and stuff. And he said that some cases that does start like this, where the dog's pushy and mouthy, and then they mature, they get to be like 18 months old and stuff like that. And then now they're not so innocent and funny about the pushing. Now it becomes like, give me affection, or because I said so. So you can tell him, be like, that might, he said it might not happen with our dog. It might not, but like, you probably don't want to take that risk, especially at this time. Teach him.
And I've never had a puppy before, so
yeah.
I've never raised him from a puppy.
Yeah, you're learning.
So.
But it sounds like you're doing a good job with him overall. It's just, this is a little bit of a challenge right now, but it could be a great thing. This dog may have come into your life to like have this conversation with your father.
He came in at the right time too, because my dad was diagnosed with leukemia. He was in the hospital 3 days after we got the dog, and so when we went to pick him up, we had him in the car, and he got to sit in his lap, and so it's been an absolute morale boost for him. He came into our lives at the perfect time, and he's the perfect dog. He's so loving, and gentle, and.
So just have your dad do it where like, hey, Dad, if you're going to pet him, just don't let him be pushy and mouthy on you. Just don't let him do that. Tell him to like sit down, or tell him to lay down. And once he's relaxed, then pet him. You know what I mean? Yeah. And just let him know that telling him to stop being pushy and demand is actually being loving to the dog. Because you're teaching him clearly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're teaching him clearly how he's supposed to behave. You're not teaching him things that you don't want him to do. Because then think about it. If your father teaches him to be mouthy and stuff, and then he goes in the public and is mouthy with people, everyone would say, yeah, of course. And then your father would be like, damn, I taught him that. And now he got in trouble because he just mouthed some kid, but he was playing, but they took it as it was a bite, and now they put a strike on it. You know what I mean? You just don't want to deal with that crap. You don't want to make him.
Yeah, that's why I teach no paws, no mouths on people. 100%. I don't care.
I agree.
Even if it's an accident, you don't let the accidents happen, because like with my pit, if he had to hurt someone on accident, then it would have been the end for him.
And he's already got the costume that people are against anyway, which is the costume, So
yeah, no one knows that he's, gentle with baby kittens, because we used to foster. No one knows that. They're just like, oh, I got hurt. He's a pit bull. Yeah.
Sue. Yeah, exactly. So keep me posted on how it's going though. Like if you want to do a call and talk to him, let me know. But and by the way, feel free to shoot me a message or shoot an email of how it went. I'd be curious to know how it went. I would want to know.
Sure, definitely. And I'll send you a picture of Whiskey. He's definitely he's a handsome dog.
Awesome. I love it. All right. It was great talking to you, Amy.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll talk soon. All right. Be good. Have a great one.
All right.
Take care. That was a really good question. I like that one. Because that's one that that's a great one. The reason I'm doing these is like this is the stuff that I'm talking to people about every day. But like I said in the beginning of the live here, it's not, people aren't seeing this stuff. It's like, oh shit, she's dealing with like a father who's not listening to her. Like, damn, so am I. How do we deal with it? So now I can help 60 people who had that issue or whatever it was, who can help them with that issue. I feel like this is going to end up being like a thing where it's just going to get so full that people are going to like, I don't know. We have to figure out some way to like navigate this. Because I don't want like people to just be waiting and then never like get to go. But whatever. Who's next? We'll figure it out. We'll talk about that. We'll figure that out. What's up, Leslie?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, very well.
Awesome. I'll start with what you end with. Love you, guy.
Yeah, love you. We'll see you on the next one.
Yeah.
So where are you from, Leslie?
I'm in Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Oh, nice.
So not too far.
Yeah.
I have inquired a couple times, but haven't pulled the trigger on coming to see. Yep.
What's preventing you from pulling the trigger?
To be honest, it's a tenable situation, which we'll talk about. Totally tenable, and it's pricey.
Yeah.
So
I get it,
that balance, it takes a moment for me to like make that.
Yeah, I get it. What's going on? How can I help you?
Yeah, so I have a 4-year-old German Shepherd mix. I rescued him when he was at 6 months. Single dog mom. Definitely made a bunch of mistakes in the beginning. He's my first dog as an adult. He is pretty dominant and confident. I'll skip to like what the main issue is now, and you can ask all the questions. So he goes to daycare and he can get walked with other dogs by a dog walker, no problem, or very few problems. Maybe once in a while at daycare, like he'll be a little reactive. Overall, he's been going for years, no problem, about twice a week. If I'm around at this point, or we reached a point about a year ago where if I'm around, he will attack another dog if we do anything more like a stop and chat. If we're passing by, he doesn't lunge or anything like that. But if we're saying hello, let alone being like off leash at a park, he's going to go after another dog. And when he goes after him, it's not just one quick warning, it's way too much.
Okay.
Overcorrection for sure.
So what do you think?
So
yeah, go ahead.
So I think listening to you and all the balance trainers, and yeah, totally made the mistake early on about listening to positive only trainers, which I don't agree with anymore. I totally see how that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
But anyways, listening to all the advice, I'm pretty sure this means that he doesn't see me as fully in charge and able to handle things. So does that mean I need to do things like not allow him to sleep in my bed, which I do? Do the whole, like, I enter the room first always, every time.
What do you do now? What do you do now?
He sleeps in my bed. He generally, when it's me and him, he listens. He listens mostly. So like, I can tell him to sit and leave it, and he will. Maybe not to the nth degree, but like I could walk in. He's watching me to get the cue. If I let him off leash when there's no one around, he won't go until I give him the cue. I can walk away, walk around. He won't go until I give him the cue. But on the leash, he is a leader. So he's German Shepherd, Australian Shepherd, Pit Bull, Husky, Retriever, Bulldog is what the test said. So he's always been more of a leader. So now,
is he an actual, do you feel like he's an actual leader? Like he actually is born? Like he's a very confident guy? Or is he just behaving dominant in your relationship?
I think it's a little bit, I think he really is confident, but I also know that like when you're super confident and you overcorrect, that means you're insecure in some way. Like that's
could be.
That's like that's what I think. But he is like, he pees everywhere, and he is confident. He's always I had an early trainer, she was young, but like really early on, she said he's the most confident dog I've seen.
Okay.
Don't know, she may or may not be called, but like it's not frontin'. It's not total frontin', I don't think. So when we're walking, head on a swivel, very alert. He's like the most, like any little noise, my phone goes off, anything, his ears perk up. Mm-hmm. Even if he's not reacting, he's just very alert. So with walking, I got to the point where he's never pulled, but he's always led. And I watched your last video, which was that dog matched mine, where you ultimately said, do the long leash and change directions. I've been doing that for the past 3-4 days. And totally has made a difference. It makes a difference. He doesn't lead as far, but my question for you is like, do I now start shortening so that he's not in front at all? Is that the progression?
Yeah.
Sweet. So I'll do that, shorter and shorter, and then because he's always
not just, hold on, but really quick, not just shortening it and like keeping him there tight,
but doing
like reminding him back here. This is you're holding him accountable to. This is where you're supposed to walk.
Right.
Look, one thing I just want to say is it's not so much just him standing there. It's like, where is he, and is he somewhat paying attention to you?
So that's someone commented on that, and he does the same thing. So now the past few days, I'll change direction, not just when he's a little further along, but when I can tell he's like, I'm going where I want to go. And then sure enough, so now he's more sensitive. So he's like,
oh yeah,
he's in front, but he's like looking back, and
which is likely
considering
a result of this long line thing that you were doing.
Right. Yes, I think that's the progress, but he's still like,
yeah, but
I got to watch.
I know, but you've only done 3-4 days of that. So keep doing that.
Right.
Keep doing that.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and you're going to start seeing, because like every time you're doing that, you're behaving like a leader doing that. Because think about it. You go in a field and you just start like, that's why I do that long line thing and you go where you want to go. Of course, we're paying attention to the dog because we're timing it the right way and things like that. But to the dog, from their perspective, it's like, damn, Leslie just goes wherever the hell she wants. In my instincts, a leader would do that. That's weird because she usually was behaving like a follower, but now she's doing this. And I live in the moment, so I guess she's just doing this now. So I better start paying more attention to mom now.
Right.
And the more this keeps,
so that will.
Yeah, the more that keeps happening, I better pay attention to mom. Better pay attention to mom. Better attention to mom. We have to figure out like the whole part of. Have you ever talked to the dog walker or the daycare place of why they think that he has this reaction with you?
Mine. No, I haven't. He's only had one incident with the dog walker where they went to the dog park, which I'm not surprised that generally was okay. And I was actually it could have gone either way. I wouldn't be surprised if it was fine because he goes to daycare, and the people are walking around daycare all day. But in there was a toy involved, and the dog walker took the toy from him and gave it to someone else, something like that. He was like, my bad. But so he did react there. Otherwise, I haven't talked. My impression would be like if he gets attached to you, like if you become his person, then the risk is going to get higher that he's going to start to but I haven't heard that from
if they see you as a follower.
Yeah.
That's where that's what it is. The relationship's coming into it. So that's what we have to problem solve and figure out what are the things that are causing him to believe that you don't have what it takes in those moments. That he's saying, I'm going to protect myself and my mom before listening to her direction.
Right. I do think, again, in terms of before I knew what I knew, I didn't step in enough. I didn't take charge enough. I so sillily was like, oh, they figure things out.
Yeah.
Dogs figure things out.
It's not so silly though, because that's what the public is. That's what's like the common theme out there. It's like, let them figure it out. Yeah. I always say, like, I mean, you can, but like, good luck. I mean, that can be pretty messy if you let them figure it out.
Right. One day it clicked where like the whole they are kids thing. Like, you can't let. Especially, I grew up in a household where, like, no, there was a classic Asian immigrant household. We're not just going to figure it out.
Rules, like, limitations. This is how you do it.
Right.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
So now I get that, but so early on, maybe those impressions stuck.
That's imprint. That's imprint. That's imprints when that happened. But then it's like now what you have to be paying attention to is like inside the house. Be like, what you have to be conscious of affection and attention.
Yeah. Yeah.
So. Of course, like if it's just you in the place, it's likely going to be like, I'm going to share some affection with this dog, right? I'm just saying that you have to be very calculated when you do that, because while like the same with the last caller is like where the dog was mouthing and stuff. It's like, yeah, I'm not saying don't give affection. I'm just saying that don't ever give affection when he's being pushy on you, when he's demanding affection, when he didn't do anything for it. Because what some of these dogs can take it as is the human themselves is like, I'm fulfilling an emotional need of connecting to this animal. It's making me feel loved, seen, accepted. I'm in this relationship. This is great. But the dog can take it as, my follower's worshiping me again.
Yeah, that's probably because he's not snuggly wuggly.
Yeah.
So he doesn't come up to me much for affection. He'll sit next to me all the time, but he doesn't like the pets that much. He'll like stand in front of me, but he doesn't really like the pets and all that. But working. Let me go pet my dog, my dog's butt,
Yeah.
So that I can see that's the word.
So if you do things like that, instead of like going over to him, blah, blah, do like make him do something. Come, sit down. Very good boy, pet. All right, go lay down now. Go lay down. Make him do shit well to get the affection, not just like right now you're like I use the example of the PlayStation or whatever. But it's like right now you're just walking over with the new video game, and he's like, oh, thanks.
Right.
I'm fucking the best ever. Look at me.
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. I could do that I can do that if I want 10 pets a day. I'll make him do 10 things. Yeah, I can do that. And he will. Okay, awesome.
And even things like you were saying, like, do I have to do the doorway thing? It's like, no, you don't have to, but those are opportunities you have to look as to hold him accountable to doing things the way you want to do it. But that's what leadership is. It's like, which way are we going to do it? Are we going to do it his way and lunge at people and rush to the doors and pull? Or are we going to do it respectful and calm through doorways, following? We sit and wait while mom talks to people. And if we don't, there's a consequence. That we'll have to figure that out too. Because like if you came here, I would learn with him, see what his thing is, work with him a little bit. And then we would practice. I would come out with a dog and I would talk to you. Mm-hmm. And if he goes to lunge or do something like that, we'll correct him for that shit, put him back in a sit, and then we do it again. And we do it again until he tolerates it. And then once he starts tolerating it, and be like, all right, this is fine. Good. Here's some food, some affection. Good boy.
Yeah, that's what I want. Of course, it's not easy to be like, hey, do you mind if I practiced on my dog? That's aggressive.
That's where you need people like me. It doesn't have to be me, but you need somebody who's a professional who has balanced dogs, who knows how to deal with that, who can help you and walk you through it. And it's like setting up the movie. You know what I mean? Like, let's set it up. So it's exactly, it will be very similar to what would happen in public. And now if he has a reaction, we can deal with it and we can continue. It's not just a reaction, the person leaves.
Right.
Because that's what he wants. Right. He gets it. He gets what he wants. Get away from me and my mom. And the people are like, fuck, this crazy dog. I'm out of here.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah, exactly. You see me? See what I did, mom?
Yep.
Yeah.
Handled. Yeah, handled.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's worth like working on these leadership things, like trying to build that impression a bit along further, that will make it more effective and just click more down the line to do the actual interactions with other dogs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, look at this. I use this as an analogy because I have a kid now. So it's like my kid's misbehaves. He throws shit at the table when he's eating and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, but I expect him to be good when I bring him to the restaurant.
Right.
It's like the relationship that you have inside the home is what you're bringing to the outside world. But most people just forget about the inside world because they don't see the problem in there. So they're like, oh, there's not really a problem here. We pat and da, 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 da. What's the big deal? His problem's out there on the walk. I'm like, I know, but the stuff inside the apartment is
Right.
causing that thing to happen on the walk.
Yep.
That's where the relationship gets exposed right there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everything you've learned in the house, you're practicing.
That's right. That's right.
Any other tidbits like that? I love that tactic of making him work for affection.
That was one. The only other thing I asked was exercise, just making sure he's fulfilled.
So we aim for 2 hours, mostly hit it every day that I'm working at home. And then on the daycare days, he is pretty sufficiently tired. He doesn't play. He used to play. And I think we kind of ruined that for him, with me not stepping in and turning into a negative experience. So when he's at daycare, he walks around, wags his tail, but is mostly observing. Nonetheless, he's tired at the end. So those days I do shorter walks.
And even consider when you walk him, add a backpack, add a weighted vest to him.
I do. I have one. Yeah. For some of the walks. I also do the thing. I live in a small New York City apartment. He eats kibble. I throw the kibble this way, throw the kibble that way. He is smart, but not smart enough to just go back and forth for 40 minutes while I watch TV. So that's extra on top of our walks.
One thing to consider too is this is good for everybody too. For the whole thing is like potentially consider getting a gut check done on him. I suggest it for all dogs, even if like you don't think there's anything wrong. It's just something I think every human and I think every dog should do, because just from my own experience in health is like in the general physician world, it was like, oh, your cholesterol's high, go on statin drugs. I was like, oh, all right. But then I went to like holistic and it's like, well, what about your gut? Let's take a look at the gut. And I was like, what about the gut? What does that have to do with anything? He's like, what? The doctor was like, thought I was crazy. I didn't know this stuff. We find out my gut was imbalanced. I had gluten allergies. I had all these things that was the source cause that was leading to like me not thinking clearly, feeling not good, tired, all that stuff. So just something to see if like, I don't know, his gut could come back perfect. And you're like, all right, good. We're good to go. But you might come back of like, we're missing some stuff here. You could add a prebiotic or a probiotic in. It's just something to always think about with dogs that I think is not discussed enough is the physical condition of the dog, their health.
Right.
Like how is their health? Is they eating proper food, getting proper nutrition, supplements and things? Because many of the dogs who come here, I started doing it within the last like year or two, is we had them do a lot of these gut checks on certain dogs just because I'm like, I had a German Shepherd who came here. We did all the training, was doing great, but I just noticed this guy was just felt off to me. Just felt off. And I was like, let's just see a test. Sure enough, his gut was a fucking total mess. And we got that.
A regular vet would be able to like do a
maybe ask them. They just might upcharge you. You can look online and say like just put like a dog gut check, and there's like a few brands that have them, and they give you like a whole thing. You basically send you a kit. You put a poop sample in, send it back, and they give you the whole profile of the gut, what's going on, and then they give you suggestions of supplements to help too. So like my point is that your dog could be totally fine. But just something just throw it out there just to see, especially if someone's dealing with behavior problems and stuff. It's like we always have to check physical too, because like you know your dog has his back leg is really bothering him, and that's why he doesn't want to be smelled. Like I'm just making this up, but like a dog, his leg's bothering him. That's why he doesn't want dogs smelling him, and we're correcting him for that. It's like that's not fair, you know?
Yep.
So, but consider that, try that stuff, and then I would do that anyway, because then if you do decide to come here, then you'll have that much of an advantage when you come here.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
Last thing I'll ask, and then give the floor off. With the leash thing, how do I transition from what we're doing now, like pretty long leash, to shorter and shorter to next to me?
Just start doing long, and then you'll start seeing him get into the routine with you where you're not actually using the leash. And when you finally got that and he's kind of just with you, you just start to walk out there. And then when you start to go out there, you can still to a degree do it. Like if he starts going ahead and stuff, you could turn and just like, if you have more of an open space, I'm going over there now. I'm going over here. I'm going over there. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time. You got to give it like at least a month to like let him like understand it and let it like kind of download in him, and then see, I'm getting this routine. I'm getting conditioned to it. I get it now.
Okay.
Yep.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Great talking with you. All right. Be good. Have a great one. Love you. See you in the next one. Later. All right. What's up? Who's next? Jennifer, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
How are you?
Good. Sorry, give me 1 second.
How's the brushing going? Good?
It's going good. Sorry.
Good.
I was just waiting for a really long time.
Yeah, you're taking care of your
quick question.
your oral hygiene. Go ahead.
So I have 2 corgis, and one of them is younger. The other one of them is 3, and the other one's 5. and both of them are not neutered. All of a sudden, they just started. The younger one started attacking the older one. And before the first time it happened, it was because Bruno, the older one, the 5-year-old, puked, and the younger one wanted to eat the puke, which is disgusting. I know.
Yeah,
um,
that's what they do, though.
but that's how I started. But now I've been having to separate them because it'll be out of nowhere. He'll like lunge at him, and the younger one already has aggression problems. Like he pulls on the leash. He's reactive to like dogs, bikes, and I live in a very like populated area,
Where do you live?
West New York.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where it is.
Mhm.
You're not far from Hoboken, my old stomping grounds.
I heard
Yeah.
I've been following you since like a couple years, like 3 years, and I was
Okay,
like,
yeah,
oh.
yeah. Yeah, I had left by then. I was down there. I came up here like 5 years ago, but like almost 6 years ago now. Holy shit, 6 years now.
Wow. Oh, congratulations on the baby.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, so you have okay. So so it sounds like the younger one's the problem.
Yes.
What do you have issues with the older one?
No, like he'll be a little reactive towards if he sees the younger one growling at other dogs, like he'll growl, but when I walk him separately, he won't do that. Like he doesn't really care. He's
Okay,
more like he gets like nervous, like if the other one's growling, you could see that he like shies back, or like if there's thunder or lightning, he gets scared. That's
which one?
mostly it.
Who gets scared? The older one?
Bruno, yeah, the older one.
And what about the younger one?
Brody doesn't. No, he doesn't get scared. The older one, like when he lunges at him, the older one does fight back. Like he doesn't like to, you could tell, but he's like
He defends
stop
himself.
bullying.
Yeah, he defends
Mhm.
himself. Yeah, it sounds
Mhm.
like you have. It sounds like you had a back of the pack, who's your first
Mhm.
one, and then you got a middle next who took over.
Yeah.
That's really what it is here. So we have to figure out what's happening that's causing the 3-year-old to think he's in charge of everything here. How's the exercise? Are these guys getting good exercise? Do you like?
I take him out 3 to 4 times a day, and every time it's like right now a little like I shorten the time because obviously it's cold out. But I usually take him out from anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour every time.
Okay. And you take them together,
Yeah.
and they're fine on the walk together, aside from like
Yeah.
that growling crap or whatever.
Exactly, but I keep them also on like I have two different leashes. Like they walk together, but one is on my right and the other one's
Yeah,
on my
yeah,
left.
yeah. I got it. I got it.
Mm,
Okay. So
mm.
then, and then what? So right now you have them separated completely.
Yeah, I had to because they like I just wouldn't know when the younger one was gonna lunge at the other
So what
one, and the
happened
other one.
if you like put them in the room together now? Like what would like probably happen? Do you think?
So like they could be totally fine, or they could just, or the younger one could snap. And
Uh,
then the older one just doesn't want to be around him. I could tell. Like he just like, even
yeah.
because right now I have a see-through gate, and they could be next to each other, and the other one will go to the furthest point of the opposite.
Yeah, because it's conflict right now. Right now, you have two males who are competing for who's going to run the house, type of thing. It
Mhm.
sounds like the younger one is the one who you need to do the most work with, for sure. But I'll just tell you, like interhome fighting is a challenge for sure. Like out of all the things that I deal with, like interhome fighting or dogs who are like attacking their owners are
Mhm.
challenging because the issues are not only are they like it's just like 24/7 issue. You know what I mean? If your dog was reactive outside, it's like when he's outside, that's a problem. Or
Yeah.
when people come over, he barks like crazy. Like when people come over. But this is one that's like always happening. So you have to be super on it. Really, what needs to happen is this is the difficult part about not seeing the other guy. If that's what it sounds like to me, is that he just felt that like he came into this house and no one had taken that leader position in the way dogs see it. So he's
Mhm.
like, so who's like in charge of the resources? Like he's like my brother. Like, well, I'll just tell him I disagree with him about things, and then he's gonna have to deal with it because I'm stronger than him.
Mhm.
So this is one we're gonna have to figure out a way to like do something in person. I got to see that dog, or someone
Does
needs to help me with that one. Someone needs to see that
does
dog.
it take into fact that they're not neutered?
That matters. You're just gonna have the
So
hormones.
before I go to you, should I neuter them?
No, we want to do it when they're unneutered first,
Oh,
and
okay.
then neuter. That's my suggestion.
And then about neutering and vasectomy, I don't know if I
Really
should
quick,
ask
really
the vet.
quick, really hold on, really quick. I don't know who said
Mhm.
it, but one of them said it. They said after the Goldendoodle, the guy with Ruben, he said that after he
Mhm.
got the dog neutered, the dog became more aggressive. That happens.
But I could tell that the younger one is really like in heat.
Oh,
He's
he's aroused. He's an aroused guy.
always aroused. And I think that's part of it that there's no way to release.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He might not. Well, it's that, but it's also not a way to release like his overall energy. Because if he's got that much energy to be that aroused all the time, that means he's not being totally fulfilled. So for him, he might need more. These are things where you consider like, let me bring a treadmill in and make the 3-year-old do like an hour of treadmill and things like that, giving him more challenge. And then you have to be very calculated when you have them together. And this might be where you consider muzzle conditioning them and things like that, because when you bring them together, eventually you have to get them to the point together. And there is, no matter what training you do, there is potential risk that the what's his name, the younger one's going to go after Bruno again. But when that happens, you have to have the strategy of what to do to correct him for doing that and how to reset it. You know what I mean? So that's the part that I struggle a little bit on the video calls to do, because I haven't seen your dog. I don't know him. I don't know like what his deal is. I hear him. I hear what you're saying about him. It sounds like I know who he is. But and look, it also gets to the point where if you feel these dogs are like totally incompatible and this is like beyond your scope of being able to get these dogs together, then you consider finding a home for the younger dog, of somebody who can actually like take care of him and like focus on him kind of thing, and not have him live with other people. You have to be honest with yourself of that stuff. And the reason I say that is sometimes people like, yeah, I can do it. And they do it and they put the effort in. I think they should, but then they start realizing it's like, wow, I don't know if this is the right compatibility of a dog for me. And if I do keep this dog, it's going to be a challenge my whole life. And I don't know if I'm prepared to deal with this for the next, 10 years. You have to be honest with yourself about it based on your lifestyle, like your work and things. Like, can I commit to like accomplishing this? Because once you commit to doing it, you have to set your mind to it and commit that I'm going to follow through and achieve this shit. It's
Well, I
the
was
biggest thing that
considering
happens.
that because originally me and my roommate, like they we split them, like I have them for 4 days and then she has them for 3 days. So they go back and forth. But I was like, oh, maybe we should just split them up. But I wanted to see if there was a way that, because
There's
before
there's a way, but it's going to be a lot of work is what I'm saying.
and I'm willing to put in the work. I know, because before they were fine. They would get along, like
Yeah.
until recently. That's when the fighting just started, and it just happened out of nowhere.
Yeah. I mean, look, I can help you with them. I just have to see the dog. So we have to just schedule
Uh,
something to see them.
I DM'd you on Instagram, but I don't
Okay.
know if you want me to go. And then yeah, I'll set up
Yeah,
a
if you
visit.
DM, if you DM, they should have went to the my thing. But if you want, just fill out the contact form. That's direct, right to the office.
Okay, so I go directly on Pack Leader.
Yes, packleaderdogs.com. You'll see the contact form, and then
Perfect. Thank
Natalie
you
will
so
set you
much.
up. Yeah, of course, we'll help you. We'll help you with it. It's one, but we can definitely help you in one way or another.
Perfect. Thank
All
you. I
right,
appreciate it so
all right,
much. All
Jennifer.
right.
Have a great
Okay.
one.
Bye.
Take care.
You-
That's the hardest part about this shit, guys, is like those ones is like what I want to do is tell her like, all right, so when your guy looks at him like that, that's when you have to correct and interrupt. But I'm like, I don't know what his looks are. I don't know what his triggers are. I don't know what the other guy is doing. And for all we know, the one who's the older dog, who she feels is not the problem, could potentially be part of the problem. I just had that. I'll just say that I've had many cases. I should say many, but I've had cases where people come here and they have multiple dogs and they bring one dog for the assessment. They say, this is the dog who's the problem, blah, blah, blah. I'll never forget Julius. That's like one of the most famous ones of all. Like this dog, like it was a bully breed dog who had severely bit the owner really bad. It was a fight, but breaking up a fight. So it wasn't like the dog just attacked the owner. It was in the middle of a fight between a young bulldog puppy and a a bully breed who was definitely used probably for some sort of fighting or some shit in the past. Let's put it that way. And he's an intense guy, Julius, super intense guy. So he brings him. They bring the dog into the assessment. This is a very wealthy couple, and I'm like talking with them, and I'm like looking at this guy. I'm like, yeah, I've worked with these guys. He doesn't seem that crazy or bad to me, though. To be honest, they're like, oh, trust me, look at what you did to the wife, and yeah, in the fight. But what's the other guy like? And they're like, oh, well, we have him in the car. I was like, all right, well, if it's okay, let's put the other one away and bring him in. Sure enough, door opens. It's like a little like 4 or 5 month old bulldog. Barrels in the door, jumping, all excited, all pushy, all this shit. I'm like, okay, so yeah, we have to work with Julius, yes, but this guy we need to work with too, big time. And this is actually a real problem. This guy, in my opinion, worse than the actual pity who did the biting. So this is what you actually end up realizing is like, but they saw it as the bulldog was just a happy dog who was just running around being fun and but he was also aroused around an adult who was saying like, why is everyone tolerating this guy to be this aroused around us? If you picture it, like what dogs feel like when they're in a place, they've been living in somewhere. Picture you're living in your house, and all of a sudden, your mom or your dad says, "Hey, by the way, you're getting a new roommate today." It's like, oh, someone moving in? Yeah, here he is. And the dog and a person comes in, and they just come in with like screaming and yelling. They're barreling into things. They got their beers with them, and they're yelling and fucking, oh, what's in this room? I'm going to this room. Like, well, how would you feel? Super disrespected, and like, who's going to do something about it? So that's what sometimes dogs are doing in those moments. Is like, since none of you humans know what to do, which is fair. I understand people don't know what to do. It's just a lack of information. They don't know what to do. So then the dog says, since you don't know what to do, got it. I'll take over and do it. Dogs are cutthroat when it comes to that stuff. They're not like gonna, oh, you don't know what to do, so we'll give you some time to figure it out. They're just like, you don't know what to do? I got it. I'll do it. But at the same token, once you know what to do, they're like, oh, you got what to do? We'll follow you. It's gonna take a little time for that transition because of the conditioning, but you absolutely can gain. What's up, Mark? You got your mic. Good.
Hey, Steve.
What's up, man? How
How's
are
it
you?
going?
Where you
Good,
from?
good. Thanks for having me. I'm from Jersey, but I live in Manhattan in Harlem now.
Okay. How can I help you?
Yes. Congrats on the new
Thank
baby.
you.
My
Thank
wife
you.
and I are expecting our first in April.
Amazing.
So just trying to get the dog. She's a year and a half old. She's a cockapoo. So just trying to get her trained up as we prepare for the baby to come to make sure there's no issues with like jumping or anything like
Yep.
that. Um, Being honest, I think maybe a majority of her issues are more so on my end, maybe not working her out enough, not being consistent amongst like my training and my wife reinforcing it. But generally, she doesn't have a lot of behavioral issues. It's just more so um, she's I'm trying to think of a way to word it. So like when we're training and I'm training place and down and stay and stuff like that, she's eager to do it almost to too much of an extent.
Mm.
So like when I say place, she'll run full speed, like head dive into the place bed and sit and be down. But then she's quick to jump off to
Yeah.
follow me and not stay and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then same with like recall. If we practice in like an open field, do it the first time, she's good. And then after that, she's kind of distracted or runs back halfway and stops. So I guess just like general obedience and engagement with me, the best ways to kind of hone in on that. So when the baby comes, she knows to listen and be calm and have her places where she can relax and not just kind of be restless roaming around like she does now.
Yeah, exactly. So what you're going to want to do, which is like you're starting to do, it sounds like, is we got to give the dog a place to like station themselves. Go over there and go rest and hang out. This is the place to go. It just has to be a time when especially when you're teaching it, that it makes sense to them to go and stay there. Because like, what do you want them to do on the bed? They should go to calmness, which would mean they should be relaxed. Like, so what's going to make them relax? What's going to make the dog relax if they've been tired? And it makes sense to go somewhere and rest and recover. So when we do place, because my point is for the motivation part of like place, you got that part. She knows. She's like, go to the bed. She's just not understanding that means stay on that thing. So what you're going to need with that is, I would just suggest using a leash in the beginning. In place, and she goes to the bed, and she goes, and then as she goes to come off, no, just put it right back on. And you're gonna have to get through that extinguishing phase of it. So that part is the one where the dog's like, first, I'm always working on the approach. Does the dog feel good going to it? Does it get it? Does he happy to go on it? Not worried? Good. That's the first part. Now we got that. So you got that. You're at that part. The second part becomes like, now we're gonna have them stay on it. So what I do is I'll be like, bring them over, place, they go on, or bed, whatever you do. On there, good. They're on there, and then they're like all excited. Now I just stand there and wait, because eventually she's gonna just be like, okay, that's enough. Goes to go off. Then with the leash, you just block the leash, no, and guide back on. No, guide back on. There's a phase of that of extinguishing that whole thing, because they need to try. What if I go off of here? What if I go off here? What if I whine? What if I do this? What if I do that? And they say, so if I do all those things, dad still stays calm and follows through. That's what a leader would do. You see what I'm saying?
Gotcha. And then, and would you suggest the same with like, I hear a lot of trainers saying that down should be like an applied down stay, like don't get up unless you're released or something like that. A lot of times when I'll say like down or stay, she'll do it for a little, but then if I like go around the corner in the house and I'm out of sight, she'll get up or stuff like that. Do you think kind of the same, like starting in the room while she's down?
You can choose. You can choose which one you want to do. But to me, like, I don't do like down is implied stay there until I tell you to move kind of thing. If I do want them to stay there, I'll just say stay.
Gotcha.
To me, I'm not totally caring about what physical position they're in, meaning if they're sitting or standing or laying, as long as they're calm and stay.
Gotcha.
And then from there, I could shape
Gotcha.
it. I can shape it into like lay down and stay, or sit and stay,
Mhm.
or stand and stay, whatever. Like, but then at the same time, though, there's nothing wrong with having an implied down. Nothing wrong with that. That means
Mhm.
stay. So you can decide which one you want with that. But yeah, it's repetition. So you have to extinguish the parts of when she's making the mistake. In quotes, not really a mistake because she's learning,
Mhm.
but it's like
Yeah.
she's making a mistake in the game you're teaching her. So you're teaching her how up when you go into that thing, we take a point away. It's like that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
When you go that doesn't work. You got to go back on the bed. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. And what you're going to end up teaching her, which will help you with this stay thing, is what she ends up realizing is she has to, once she calms down and surrenders to your direction of like, okay, I got it. You want me to stay here? I surrender to your direction. That first time she does it, then you calmly say, okay. And so then
Gotcha.
it sends the message to
Okay.
her that, okay, so what was the timing at which I got off this bed? I was calm and I accepted the direction of Mark. Mark told me I wanted to stay there. And I said, okay, I'm willing to stay here. And you said to her, for doing that, you're invited off. And then over time, you just extend it.
Gotcha.
So then you'll
Okay.
eventually get to points where I would suggest now. So who's in the house? Just you and your wife?
Yeah, my wife and I, and then the baby coming
Baby
in
coming.
probably two more months.
Yeah. So what you want to do is start mimicking things that you're going to be doing with the baby.
Mhm.
So
like being on the floor, being on the couch without her being on it, stuff like that.
That's right. The first thing you're going to do is teach her how to go to the bed and stay there, right? That's the first thing you're going to do. Then you're going to do things of like you sit on the floor and do something. She comes over and starts getting all excited. You tell her, no, you can't come near me when we're doing this.
Gotcha.
And then when she says, well, I'm not sure what to do if I can't be all over you guys on the floor or on the couch. It's like, since you don't know what to do yet, just go on this bed and stay here and relax for a little bit. And then she'll realize she's not getting attention in these things and all this stuff. So my point is, you can play baby crying sounds at times when she's tired, low level. You can, if you have the stroller right now, I would open that shit up and start walking around with it. I would, anything you're going to do and start having it out.
Okay.
Get a fake doll.
That makes
put it in your
sense.
arm and walk around with it.
Yeah.
For real. Like roll up
Gotcha.
a towel and put it in there and start walking around like this. Because she might say, I'm interested in something you have, and that might trigger her. It's not a baby, but she's going to say, like, what is that? And she jumps up. No.
Gotcha.
And then you continue walking
that
around.
makes sense.
So she starts seeing, so when mom or dad have this thing here like this, I'm supposed to be respectful and give space. And she'll understand that if you do it the right way, because that's in their DNA too, or in their instincts to show respect to mom and dad with the young. They know that. But if we don't do anything about it, they just say, oh, no one's taking control. Well, I'm just coming in. Yeah, it sounds like you're not going to have that much problems. It doesn't sound like you're going to have problems. It's just going to be, the problems are like, I'll just tell you from having kids, it's like the first 8 months, they don't do anything. They just pee, poop, and eat. It's really sleep. It's really like the only thing they're doing, and that's it. So and they're not mobile. They're not going anywhere. So you just bouncer, arm, bassinet, whatever the hell they're in, right? It's when they start crawling that's changed a little bit, because then they can start crawling to the bed and crawling at them. But crawling is usually all right, especially a dog who's been around kids a little bit. They're like, whatever, kid's crawling. It's when they start walking or they start moving towards them on the beds and things like that. You just have to be aware of those things. That's like the main stuff to deal with. But it doesn't sound like you, especially because she doesn't have that many issues. It's just going to be the biggest thing I would say of having kids is like, you need that time of like, guys, like for me with my dogs, I'm like, guys, go to your beds now. Like, my older son is with the hockey stick and the younger one's crying and we're trying to, it's like all this shit going on. It's like, well, one thing I can do, I have all these moving parts. I can take this moving part, the dogs, and put that in one spot. You know what I mean? Now I can just deal with my children and the wife and deal with that.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? So that's like a really, really great one to have. And then have you seen my videos on the introduction to the baby?
Yeah, I've seen the introduction to the baby, the letting them smell like diapers and onesies, stuff like that, getting used to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
And
you
then
think for
I
that
guess
scent,
I have one.
that scent, that's your imprint of the scent of your baby. So if you can do it,
And we would want to do that while they're calm, right? So make sure she's relaxed, not too excited when we introduce it.
That's right.
Okay.
And then when you open it up, she's going to be curious. She if she starts to move forward, nope, move back. You can smell from back there.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because that's the imprint. That's her strongest sense. And she's saying the scent of the baby. This scent means dad's telling me to give distance and be respectful. So then when baby comes in, give distance and respectful.
Gotcha.
Then you could do the
And
eyes.
then
Hold on really quick. Then you do the eyes. You
mhm.
hold like something. You're doing the holding. You act like you're doing it. Okay. So when they're holding this
Yeah.
thing, when my eyes see that, give distance. And then you do like the baby crying, or you hold a little speaker
Yeah.
in the stroller. Do I move forward to that? Nope. So then nose, eyes, ears all know to be calm about the baby.
Gotcha. Okay, perfect. And then just my last question. Like I said, most of her stuff isn't behavioral. It's just more so me being consistent. But one thing I notice, and it might just be her either tired or having too much pent up energy, is usually at night she'll get into this mode where just out of nowhere she'll start like barking and
Yeah.
running around the house and wanting me
The
to chase her.
witching hour.
Yeah, exactly. So it's not quite zoomies because she specifically like wants me to be the one to like run around and chase after her. When that happens, outside of just like ignoring them because she'll just bark on end
Yeah.
unless I like put her in the crate or something,
Mm-hmm.
what's the best way to deal with that?
Two sides to it. One is like when it's happening and she's barking like crazy. First is like, all right, let me settle her down, calm her down from this. I have to
Mhm,
address this and deal with it. And then the second part in my mind, I go right to, I'm like, obviously she's got this much energy to do this right now.
mhm.
So I have to
Yeah.
A, give her something to do now, or B, be
Mhm,
better about giving her more throughout the day or adding something in. And the thing I'm thinking for you, which might help, especially because you're in the area with the weather and all this shit, is a treadmill.
mhm.
I mean, it's a great thing. Like
Yeah.
when that's another thing you can have them do is like when the kids or whatever, the baby's a little crying and things like that. It's like, okay, girl, go get your exercise. And then once you practice with
Mhm,
her and she's good at doing it, she got like I do it all the time. I put my shepherd before the call I did today. I was like trying to like
mhm,
get all this shit prepared, get ready to go. And I'm like, I don't have time to do this with my dogs. I put my shepherd on there for an hour with a weighted vest. So now I
mhm.
know during this time, like he can chill and rest. And then when I'm done with the call,
Gotcha.
now I can go work those guys. You
Gotcha.
know?
Okay.
But keep me
Great.
posted if you
Yeah.
have any other
Thank you. I
questions. Yeah,
appreciate
if
it.
you need any other questions or anything else or any in-person help, I'm here. I'm here because you're close.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
All
I'll
right.
definitely reach out. Thank you.
All right, man. Awesome talking to you. Be good.
Alrighty.
Good luck
Have a
with the
good
baby,
one.
by the way. Congrats.
Bye.
Enjoy.
Thank
All
you.
right.
Thanks.
It's
You
amazing. We'll do like a couple more. Hey, Sabrina.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm presuming you can hear me?
I can hear you. Yep. All good.
Awesome.
How can I help you?
I'm from Canada,
Canada. Where?
Nova Scotia,
Nice. You a hockey
by the
fan?
water.
Are you a hockey fan?
Me, personally, no, but that's because I think my father, like, overdid it when I was a kid.
Yeah. You're like adverse to it. It's like
So I'm just
I'm
like,
tired of this
I'm
hockey.
done.
Yeah. Enough ice.
Not my thing.
Okay.
So I have a question
Yeah.
about this little one who just decided to say hi.
Yep. Yorkies. Yep.
Her behavior has changed over the past probably few weeks or so.
Okay.
So for the first 2 years of her life, she was very, like, nervous and scared of a lot of things. I didn't socialize her properly as a puppy. It was, it was, I got a puppy and didn't know what I was doing kind of situation until later on.
Okay.
Um,
Fair.
so my boyfriend ended up chasing her with the vacuum, so I don't know if that had to do with part of it. We've also been chased by off leash dogs a few times. So much so that the past time it happened, she regressed so badly that she was peeing and pooping in the house again, and she didn't want to go outside at all.
Okay. So she's very
But
sensitive
over the
dog.
past, what was that? Sorry.
She's a very sensitive dog.
Yes, very much so. Over the past, like, 3 weeks, though, she's become a lot better. Like, I've been working for a very long time trying to get her to a point where she was more comfortable. I was able to get her attention. She wasn't as nervous when it comes to certain things, showing her that things aren't scary and all that stuff. Like, I've tried to put in a lot of work for it. And over the past, like, few weeks, she's gotten progressively better to a point where I was able to take her to a store and she was able to, like, she was stressed at one point, but she was able to shake it off and she was
Mhm,
okay after that.
mhm.
And she would be excited and happy. Obviously, me being excited and happy and showing her that things aren't scary seems to help. But have you ever dealt with a situation like this where, they start off as, like, very nervous and then they get better, but then also they start, like, I guess, reacting in a way, like she's barking at, like, certain things now, which she never did before. She would always cower in fear and run,
Yeah.
and now she's barking at them,
Yeah.
which I can usually
Hormones change.
redirect her.
Hormones are changing.
At the age of 2?
Yeah.
When she's spayed already?
Yeah. They
Yeah.
change. They change. So it's not like when they spay, it's not like at like 60, 18 months, like it's like, all right, shit switched. And it changes over time, even with the spaying and stuff. There's still hormones that are changing. And it takes time. Even like if you had a, what do you call it? like a dog, like a 2-year-old dog right now, and you neutered him, it's like he's not going to be like, the hormones aren't going to change for like months and adjust to the change of the hormones and things. But when was the spay?
Oh, when she was, like, 6 months old.
Yeah.
She was only itty bitty, like, the youngest they could do it at.
Yeah, but what can happen is, it doesn't mean that it happened at the time when the hormones changed. The hormones may have changed, and then as time went on, she had a dog, and that felt good to do. And it's all it can take. Because that's what happens a lot with the nervous dogs too. It's like these dogs. Something happened with the Instagram. Okay. It happens a lot with the nervous dogs. Is like they're like when they're young, they're like, oh god, and people say like they seemed fine around people, but they were actually like just tolerating it, and they didn't know what to do. And then hormones change, and they don't think about it. And then someone moves, and they just go, Rrr! I'm like, they're like, they don't even know why they did it. And then they watch it's the response is the human. Or that dog like moves away, or they get it's an out of a situation that was making them nervous, and they're like, I got a strategy now. I can bark and do
Okay.
things. And like, but is that what you're dealing with now though? Is that so when she goes and sees things, she's more confident, you're saying now, but then when she sees like something she makes her nervous, she barks at it?
So, for example, like, last night I went out with a friend with her, and she was okay, she didn't have any issues with the other dog, she wasn't barking, but then obviously the other dog was playing, and she, chasing a ball, and I don't know if she was intrigued by it, but then she started barking, and then even after, like, I got her away and came back, and, like, I did that a few times trying to get her away, get her attention, and come back, she was still every now and then, she was, like, letting out a little, like, huff, I guess is the best way
Yeah,
to
yeah,
put
yeah,
it,
yeah,
she
yeah, yeah,
wasn't,
yeah.
like, barking, but she was letting out a little huff.
Yeah, she's aroused.
And I don't know if it was towards the I wanna play or if it was towards, just the whole situation in general, the fact that it was
Yeah.
nighttime, there was a light, but it was darker and she couldn't quite see very well.
Mhm.
And then another example would be there was a dog that was just out in its front yard. The owner wasn't paying attention at all, and the dog, we were walking, and the dog came up to us, like more curious than anything. It wasn't like running up or anything. It was just like slowly coming up to us. And I should have crossed the street, but I was too worried that something was going to happen with the dog because we've gotten chased multiple times. So
Yeah,
I figured it'd be easier to keep an eye on the dog. And she decided, like she first kind of like went back, but then she decided to try and bark at the dog. And I, finally was able to get the dog away, and the dog went away, and we walked along, and she kept looking over her shoulder. She wasn't barking, but she kept looking over her shoulder, and then finally she shook it off, and she kept walking along without issues.
That's good. You're in progress because now she's not running away from things. Now she's feeling a little bit more confident to do that stuff. So now you just to clean this part out. But does this dog ever spend time with other dogs ever?
Yes and no. So that like I have another dog, but obviously she lives with him all the
Yeah.
time. And every now and then I would take her out to different events. Like I do dog sports with my other dog,
Mm-hmm.
and I would take her out, and she would either just be in the room in a kennel and just be able to observe, and she would be fine, unless obviously I left the room because she was like, "Why are you leaving me in
Yeah,
this
yeah,
weird
yeah.
space?"
Yeah.
But otherwise, she didn't bark or anything like that at any of the other dogs. She would just like her kennel was her safe space.
Yeah.
So whether it be, in the car or out at an event, she was okay there. But that's like the only time that she's really like interacted with other dogs. I tried taking her to the dog park a few times when she was a puppy, and that was not having it. If it was her brother, she was fine, but other dogs, she was very much so cowering in fear. So I was like, okay, we're not going to
Oh,
do
okay.
this anymore.
Okay.
But I have friends that are good with their dogs, so I'm able to, take her out like we did when we went to the one store, and they would just be doing their thing, and I would be doing my thing,
Yeah.
and she would be able to observe them. She didn't bark at them there, but she was more curious about saying hi to the people,
Yeah.
but not so much the dogs themselves,
Yeah. She needs balanced
if that
dogs.
makes any
She needs some
sense.
balanced dogs to like interact with a little bit.
So when you say balanced dogs, like ones that aren't gonna like invade her space and know to back off kind of thing,
Yeah,
right?
the dogs who are good like at pack work stuff, like dogs who are social, who know social stuff and like can read social cues well. Which is like, I know what you're gonna say probably is like, hey, where the hell do I find that? But it's like
I
that's
I think I know someone actually, believe it or not, I think I know someone who has
yeah.
a good balanced dog, so
Yeah, if you have that, that's a great one because you need one where where when your girl like freaks out a little bit, oh my god, that dog's here and like she freaks out. It's like that dog's just like meh, and just like kind of like does his own thing, and she's like, oh, well, how come he's not reacting and being like, I'm actually curious about him, and then eventually you go walk with that dog, and that's your first like one, the first one that she can link to.
okay.
Then you can get another one, and then it's like that's a big one that happens is like you're working with this dog, and obviously you have your other dog, but it's just like with her and teaching her how to be around these dogs that are out there. But she's never like, so it's still a novelty to her. is what I'm saying. It's still a little bit like, yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying, Mom. Like, don't bark at them or do these things, but like, I don't know about those things. And not
It's
to
like
mention,
me kinda driving to a new place and, like, using Google Maps. Makes
yeah,
sense, I know where I'm going, but at the same time, I don't quite know how to get there or how to, navigate the place.
yeah, and the 2 times before that you, or a couple times you've driven, you've got in bad car crashes too, which is the dogs attacking on the walk. So of
Okay.
course you're gonna be like, huh, I'm not very feeling great about this whole thing. You know?
Yeah, so okay, that makes sense.
So it's like that's what it's very key when I say that stuff. It's like you have to have the right dogs to put that dog with. And that takes someone who knows how to read dogs and has experience with them. Cause like we get a lot of those dogs and I'm like, it's literally like the selection. I know who dogs are here. I'm like, who do we have? And I'm like, all right, give me Luigi, this guy, da 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 da. Like those 5 are perfect because I know them. I know like if this dog goes like, "Meow," they're gonna be like, dude, like, and not give that big
Okay.
reaction. You know what I mean? Because you don't want the dogs who are too pushy. Those dogs are just gonna overwhelm your dog and it's gonna make it worse. You don't want the dogs who, if she has a reaction, who are gonna like go back at her kind of thing. She has to be able to express
Yeah.
that reaction without the other guys reacting, so then you can influence. Say, hey, settle down. There's no
Okay.
reason to do that. No one's in that state. No one's here to hurt you. And because she would say, oh, okay, I wasn't sure because in the past I've got attacked. I've never done this. I don't know what to do.
Okay. So, also, would that, have to do with, like, my other dog never really correcting her as a puppy?
Yeah.
Like, kinda thing like, they would play and, like, I would be the one that would step in because he just wouldn't care. She can nod his face and ears, and he could
Tolerate
literally
it.
care less.
Yeah, tolerate it. Yeah. Yeah. That's part of it. That's part of it. But it's actually probably better though, to be honest, because like your other guy like has given your dog like you can have a relationship with a dog. It's not like she's on her own. And he's not fighting back at her and trying to like hurt her. Like, yes, it could have helped. But my point is that if he was like, boom, and corrected her and all that shit, she might be like even more insecure.
Okay. So, in that case, it probably worked out for the better?
I think. Sounds to me.
Okay.
Yeah, because this is not one where like she's like she needs better about being held accountable. She needs help getting out of nervousness and sensitivity.
And do you think if I keep doing what I'm doing with, like, slowly introducing her to other dogs and that she'll eventually maybe get to a point where she's okay
Yeah,
and
she
she's a lot
tolerates
more
it.
confident
Yeah.
and able to get
Yeah,
around to it?
she may never be like the social butterfly, like, oh my God, where's everybody? Let's go out. And like, nah, she's probably not gonna be that. But she'll be like, she's the friend who's like, you bring her to like the bar, but she's like, all right, I'm fine to be here. I'm fine to be in the club. It's all right. It's not my thing, but like, I'm all right with it. I'm not like freaking out in here. Right now, she's like, what? Why is the music? Why are they serving drinks? What's happening? Like, that's her right now, a little bit.
Okay, that's my ultimate goal is just to make it so that, one, she's obviously less stressed and more comfortable in different places
She's not as
and
overwhelmed.
environments.
She's not as overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Disgusting.
We don't have any of those right now.
Yeah, I know. You have a vacuum? Vacuum this nasty
Well,
fucking
I
thing out.
appreciate your time.
Huh? Yeah, grab it. All right, this is really good.
I
Keep me
appreciate your
posted.
time
Keep me posted.
and all your insight.
Yeah, keep me posted of if there's like on the progress too. Let me know if there's any questions of like, all right, I'm at this point. What do I do now? Like, just let me know.
I definitely will.
All right.
I'm just glad she's making progress and, upwards passion.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you have to focus on. If you're making progress, and by the way, when you're making progress, even if there's like minor setback or a setback, it doesn't mean it's over.
Well, if that was the case, then the 2 off-leash dogs that came charging at us when she regressed so badly that she was peeing and pooping in the house, we wouldn't be back to where we are now.
You see what I'm saying?
So
Yeah, that's it.
we can do it.
You can do it. You're on the right path. Put on Max. Here we go. Let's see if Jamie can get the bug. Don't get it? Yeah. Put that shit outside.
With the vacuum?
Yeah.
That's the way to do it.
We have these freaking stink bugs that come here. So like my house is in the middle of like, to a degree, like the woods, and like they must just love the warmth of this place, and they like get in, and then when you kill them, they smell like gross, like rotten grass. It smells like.
Ooh,
My wife cannot
that's
stand these
definitely
things.
no fun.
I wasn't expecting this live to turn into talking about stink bugs with my wife, but it is what it is. This is how it goes. All right. Well, great talking with you. Keep me posted. But keep the progress going. Keep it going. And if you have any questions like along the way of like, I'm at this point, I'm just confused. I just want to make sure everyone's clear at the points, So just let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, Sabrina, have a great one. Take care.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
My wife Cassie's gonna lose it when I say, hey, so I was doing the live, and all of a sudden when the stink bug just landed right here on the freaking test, she's gonna be like, oh my God, these stink bugs, call the exterminator. She freaks out with that shit. It's hilarious. Scott, here we go. Scott. What's up, Scott?
Hello.
How are you?
How are you?
Where are you
Good,
from?
thanks. live in Mexico from Long Island, your fraternal twin.
Wow, awesome. How's things in Mexico going?
Pretty big question. For me, very well. We'll put it that way. Yeah.
Good. So how can I help you?
All right. So I have I'm obsessed with my dogs. I have a Belgian Malinois here who's IGP2.
Nice.
Works with my sheep. I've got my border collie here that works with my sheep, very obedient. I love my dogs. They're very well socialized. The problems here are not with my dogs. But I wanted a female Malinois, and I went to one of the most exquisite breeders in the United States about 2 years ago. The whole litter ended up dying, and she recommended somebody else who had one of her females. I ended up getting one from someone else. After I put the deposit down, I started to realize the socialization wasn't as good as the exquisite breeder that had recommended these people.
Mhm.
Ended up getting the dog, and it was like vicious at 3 months. I was socializing it. It was biting people, hackles up on a regular basis.
Yeah, it's weird.
I actually talked to the breeder, the exquisite breeder, and the breeder who sold it to me, and they saw videos and they said, "This is not our product. This is not our product." They gave me all my money back to their credit. They paid for the dog to be flown back with me back to the United States.
Mhm.
They were very good about it.
Yeah.
And then I went for another Belgian Malinois down in the south of Mexico, and I did my homework. I went to the farm. I have a farm. That's where my dogs work on the sheep and all. And it's like a sister farm. They do all this organic stuff and good with animals treated well. And I knew them from Instagram. I got in touch with them because they have these pictures on their Instagram where they have like schools coming in and they've got these massive Belgian Malinois and the kids are hugging them and everything. I'm like, this is the type of environment that I want a puppy from.
Right.
And they're not a breeder either, and they're not trying to promote their dogs or anything. They're like some hippies who had these dogs and they never got the mother fixed. And every once in a while, I was like, "Oh no, we've got more.
Oh,
We've got more."
yeah. Okay.
And they come from French lines, like they were good. They were quality dogs. I went down there. I met the parents. The parents were I was so happy because an ambulance showed up and guys got out of the ambulance and big running out. And the Belgian Malinois were like mine, just happy.
Hanging
And
out,
like,
yeah.
can we help? Can we help? They
Yeah,
weren't
yeah.
nasty.
Yeah.
So I got a puppy. I brought her back. She was the smartest dog. This dog could have gotten her BH at a year when she's first ready to get it. She was like superb. I had her trained perfectly. I was socializing her like 5 hours a day. At like 6.5 months, she started getting really nasty with humans, like really nasty with humans, which was the exact same situation with this other dog that I got from the United States months earlier. And at one point, this woman who works at my farm, she's the dog knew her very well. This woman has fed the dog. She's played with the dog. Like she's always been around. Well, I may have made a mistake here, but I went out to do some work, and it was the first time that the dog was without me outside her crate at 7 months old on the farm. I even told the workers at my farm, I said, I'm locking the farm up. Nobody's allowed in here. I don't want because I'm obsessed. I don't let anybody interact with my puppies.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially, the intensity of these dogs.
Yes.
So you guys don't let anybody in this farm. Well, we get a phone call that the dog went absolutely insane, drew blood, attacked the woman who had fed her at 7 months. And I saw the video and the dog was like circling the woman, jumping up, biting her, would not let go, was barking, got my 2 other dogs to come and they started barking at her. And then they saw who it was like, what are we doing here? And they like ran backwards and she was like, come back. The little female puppy. And my dogs came back again. They got to who it was and they were like, what the hell? We're not supposed to be barking at them. And I have a 5-year-old. I have a new son too. Congratulations.
Congrats. Amazing.
And like I'm heartbroken about this, but that day it was like God spoke to me.
Yeah.
I brought the dog in. I gave her the best food. We trained a little bit. I let her do the bite toy and everything.
Yeah.
With the ball, and I put her down.
Yeah, I understand.
And I'm still heartbroken about it. And now I'm wondering, like, I've had 2 Belgian Malinois who've been the best dogs in my life. This dog here is awesome. Am I like, did I just get really unlucky with these two females. I read that the female is more territorial, but to that level, it just seems insane. 3 months and 7 months, these dogs were nasty. And I don't know. And my wife and I decided in 4 years we want to get another Belgian Malinois. So my question to you is, how do I distinguish in a litter who's going to be the dog for me when I see a puppy? Who's not going to have these instincts? And also, like, did I just get super lucky with these dogs? Because I mean, I've been around the day after I put her down. I'm running around the park with my dogs off leash because they're phenomenal.
Yeah.
And there's this old guy with a cane. He can't even walk, and he's got this beautiful Belgian Malinois. It's one of the intense ones that's always like, I want more, I want more, I want more, I want more. And it runs up and it breaks up a picnic, and there's little kids there, and there was a big a Labrador Retriever. There was a little dog, and the dog like it breaks up a picnic and lays on its back, and it just wanted. I'm like,
Yeah.
why can't I get a dog like that? My two females were like super nasty, and am I missing something? Like, am I not familiar with the breed like I think I am, or yeah, I don't know.
Good question.
So
Good question. It's hard to say, obviously, without me never seeing the puppies and seeing how you raised them and did things. But obviously, you have a history of being able to raise like balanced, highly balanced working dogs. You can do it, you know? So it would be, well, what we have to go back and try to figure out is like, when did we start seeing these things and trying to correlate like with things that were happening? Was there an incident that happened? Was it something that we're missing in how we're raising it? Or there is the possibility you might have got two front of the pack dogs who were take shit way more seriously than middle of the backs do. It could have been that line was just a thing. It could have been that dog was getting a little bit aroused and you weren't sure how to like keep him a little bit or her a little bit more in check. And then someone entered the house and it was like finally explodes. It's hard. It's really difficult to say based on it. You know what I mean? But I would say being that you've done this with dogs and you've been able to accomplish it, it sounds very bizarre that you've been able to like accomplish that with the dogs and then they're like crazy at 3 months. Like, yeah, Belgians can be, you've had the Belgians, like they're intense, but not like that level. They're not trying to kill everybody at 3 months.
I feel like the intensity, the way it should be is that you have to like,
they want to do, they want to be challenged. They want challenge. You know what I mean?
And they want to bite and play, and
Yeah.
biting is fine as long as it's playful, especially until a year. I mean, I'd expect to see some sort of aggression get in maybe at a year, but at 3 months and 7 months with their hackles up and like drawing blood, it blew my mind.
Yeah. And the second one you got was from, you said it was like the people who like, they kind of just like would have a litter kind of thing by accident.
Yeah. Yes. Down in southern Mexico.
And do you know the parents, how the parents were like? Do you know who the actual parents are?
The dog parents or the human parents?
Dog.
Oh yeah, I mentioned that. Like when I was there to visit on the farm, an ambulance showed up, and these guys.
So those guys, those were the dogs. Okay, so those were the
those
dogs.
were the dogs. They were great, and they were just like, "How can I help? How can I help?" Like intensely, nicely trying to figure out what was going on, but they weren't nasty at all. Which, yeah, I was like,
were you doing socialization with these guys?
I saw confirmed I wanted that.
But was there anything different about the dogs? Because obviously your dogs are older now. So like, was there anything different in how like the environment, the people, the where you lived, or anything different about these dogs than this one, than the other two you had?
Where I had the dogs?
Yeah, like you obviously raised those two and you did a great job raising them, right? So like, was there anything different about raising these two that you can like think of that might have been like, well, we were in this different location, or?
Well, I wonder. I was single. I wasn't as demanding with my dogs because I may have let more slip because I didn't have kids to protect. I didn't have a business to protect. I didn't have so I mean maybe, yeah, I mean, my wife and I were recently married when I mean maybe I think mainly the change would have been in my mind. I would have been more accepting. Like my Belgian Malinois did when he was a puppy. He used to sometimes get suspicious of humans and run up to them and bark. But he was already in IGP training and everything. He would never take that to a bite. And this is another interesting thing that I brought the little puppy to do IGP training, like with the pillows. Instead of the blood work, and I used the tug toy. And the guy who had the club, he's the most knowledgeable about IGP. He said to me, he's like, Scott, your Belgian Malinois, this one who's IGP2, he's like, he'll never protect you in a real life situation. The dog's too kind. This is all a sport for him. He said, this puppy, this female, very little bite inhibition. She will bite when 2 weeks later she attacked the woman at the farm. Now there comes my question about how in 4 years, when I want another female Belgian Malinois, when it's 2 months or 2.5 months or 3 months, depending upon what the breeder wants, how am I going to be able to differentiate which one I want?
So first we got to see the parents. Of course, you did the right thing on picking the right parents there, but then you have to observe them when they're puppies. That's what most people don't do. They say like, all right, the parents were good, so I'm getting a litter one from there. But I'm like, did you get a front, middle, or back from that litter? Because you might have got fronts in there, like more intense, more drive Malinois in that litter. What you're gonna have to do is we're gonna have to find a good breeder who's breeding more of the, because like your goal is not, are you gonna compete this dog, or are you trying to have this dog be like a social family farm dog?
That's what I want. And I do all these sports because they're really fun. I love interacting with my dog, and I want my dog to have a better life.
So you
I
need a
don't
middle
do
of
it
the
because
pack.
I want.
You need middle of the pack. You need a middle of the pack dog. So that's like my shepherd. He's middle of the pack. He's got drive. He wants to do shit, but like a 4-year-old could walk in and he'd be like, "Oh, hey, what's up? Nice to see you. Come on in," kind of thing. So you want that. So you have to. So how did I do it?
Is there a guide to understanding what front back? I mean,
that's one of the videos I'm gonna make, but I have done that video.
good.
I have done that video, but I'm gonna make one of those videos to see what it is. I'll just give you a brief one. So when I got my shepherd, he was one of two in the litter. It was a very small litter. So I had the first pick, and you know the breeder's trying to get me to pick at like 1 week, 2 week. I'm like, I'm not doing that. I'm waiting until 5 weeks. I need at least till 5 weeks to pick the dog. Okay. So I said, I want to see some videos, and I asked for some videos. Let me see them like playing together. Let me see them around. Like, do you ever bring them around other dogs or cats, or do one where you walk out and just open an umbrella at the puppies? I want to see how they react, like things like that. So when I saw them playing together, my shepherd is like a sable colored, and his brother was all black colored. So there was a video she sends me, and there's like the two puppies. She's videoing it. There's another like small dog who's an adult there. So I'm watching them. I'm like watching them. So here's my guy, Nico, the one who I ended up selecting. He's more like goofy. He's like, like what's going on here? Like, we're playing. This is great. What's this older dog like? He's just curious guy, playful guy, right? Sure enough, as I'm watching the video, it comes into the screen is like the black one. He's got his toy, ripping the shit, throwing it around, like not even paying attention to the people, the dogs. I'm like, I'll take the sable one for my life. If I was doing IGP, and I want to compete that guy, give me that black one. I want his drive.
Right.
But I was like, I don't want that shit for my life, and I'm gonna have kids, and I'm gonna be living here, and I'm gonna need this guy to be social with dogs and people and all that shit. I need him to be like a middle of the pack who I keep.
Right. Okay.
So those are the things. And I'll do a video on that. I think that's a really good video of like, so when I do the video of how to select the right dog, I don't know if you saw, I'm going to do that video. I'm going to talk about pack positions, and I'm going to explain that thing very clearly so you know what to look for. And then if you want something I'm considering doing, because I know that the selecting of a dog is such an important thing, and it's a big challenge for people. Like you're saying, like, how do I look for this? What the fuck am I trying to get?
It's not covered. It's not covered very often.
No, it's not. So I may consider doing a service where I help people select the right dog. Like you say, here's my breeder, and it's like, okay, let's get these videos. Let's see this. And it's like, I'm suggesting this puppy. What do you think about it? Like, and then you'll know what to do. And then there's going to have other things. Like if you're local, I can do like more in-person training with the dog too and stuff like that. But I think that's a big one. It's not really covered. You're right. It's not covered by the dog industry enough. It's like, get a Malinois. I'm like, that's a breed, but what position are you getting of that? Are you getting high drive Malinois or low drive Malinois? Are we getting a front who's like, just a general front of the pack was born to lead. They can lead. They can take over. They're confident. They're not afraid to correct. Like to give you the perfect example, I had a young dog who came here once. It wasn't young. She was 8 years old, a little female Jack Russell. When a dog would bother her enough, she would correct. Boom! And zero nervousness about doing it. Most dogs would correct like, and they're like, I don't like this. It doesn't feel good. Fronts are like, I can get direction. I'm confident. I can lead. I follow through. So those, I say to people, like, I'm not the biggest fan of owning them personally because they know how to lead, and they're not going to every day challenge you every day, but like there is the layer of challenge of like the moment that you're not practicing the leadership, I'm prepared to take over. You know what I mean? So you have to be on it with those guys. Then your back of the packs are your way more sensitive dogs, they hear things, they're unsure about things. What's that? They're alert to things, and those are those guys. And then your middle of the pack are your happy-go-luckies. They're playful. They want to have fun. And those are the ones you have to control the excitement. The way this all works, if you see it, those are general positions, by the way. It's not like front, middle, or back. You can have dogs who are like middle back-ish, front, middle kind of thing. The way it works and why it worked for this species was when they were wolves back in the day, they would have mom and dad who were the front of the pack, who were the leaders. Then they had the middle of the pack. So the middle of the pack were the fun ones and playful ones who prevent the leaders from getting too dominant and too like dictator-ish kind of thing. It would prevent the back from becoming too sensitive. And what was the back's job? To alert to danger. So they had to be sensitive. I think I hear a grizzly. Row, 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 row. And then the front comes over. Whoa, where? No grizzly. We're good. We're good. Or the middle will be like, hey, you're doing it too much now. Let's come play. You see it?
Uh,
So
and
like
you have those, you have that division between males and females. It
same,
makes no difference.
same.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You could have there's definitely front of the pack females for sure.
Okay.
Because they can
No,
be.
I
If you
just
think about it, wolves as wolves, what do? Two unrelated wolves pair bonds. Same as humans, we pair bonds, and then we have young. And what do? They're the leaders, and then they have the young. That's it. That's the pack. And then the pack has all different energies within it. Like when you have kids, they're gonna have different energies.
Yeah.
They're all raised in the same house, but they have different energies. One kid's more introverted. One kid, for me and my brother, I'm the crazy extroverted nuts guy, and my brother's like the more like reserved, like that guy. So
Yeah.
I'm more of the middle guy, middle front guy. He's more middle back.
I'm thinking about your question about situations. I do like I spend half the week at my farm, and we're out in the middle of nowhere. So I allow my dogs to bark when people come to the
Yeah,
fence.
you should.
My dogs, these guys, they know the minute I shake somebody's hand, they're like, all right, this guy's cool,
Mhm.
and they shut off. All their aggression is gone.
Yeah.
That was where the puppy just couldn't get out of that mode. The puppy was like, no, this guy's gonna get it,
Yeah. So then what
I
you
wonder, I should control that with a new puppy. If I should more like keep my dogs controlled when
Yes.
somebody else is coming to the farm so that the puppy doesn't get into that.
Yeah, let them be the role models. Let them be the role models of like you can shake the hand and you can tell, like start with you can even tell and give your dogs a cue, even though they know what to do. You give them a cue so the puppy understands that cue. So like when you're shaking the hand, like all good guys, like that thing. And then the puppy's like, no, it's not all good. Then your dogs are still calm. And then you're helping this one learn to be calm with the people,
Right.
And as best as you can in the beginning, like get that puppy around people as much as possible and have the people just ignore him. Just be around or her. Just be around people and then people give some food.
I did do that with the dog, but I guess I got in front of the pack. Yeah. I'm interested in conservation breeders too. The people who deal with just herding in the Belgian Malinois. Yeah.
The breeder should look, if you get the right breeder, the breeder should be able to help you too. It's crazy to me. It's like so many of these breeders don't know this stuff. A lot of breeders they consider themselves breed experts, but they don't really totally understand the psychology of a dog. You know what I'm saying? So they're like this breed, and it's like they behave like this and they do these things. Yeah, but a front of that breed and a back of that breed is going to behave very differently. And it's
cool. So I'm going to make
raise
sure I find someone who knows this well, and I'm going to study it myself. I got
Yeah.
4 years to do it. So
Yeah, you
cool.
have time. So you just say, when you get to the point, you say like, I'm looking for like whatever your drive that you want of a dog who's to work. You pick whatever drive it is. I want medium drive, and then I want like middle of the pack, happy-go-lucky, friendly dog, social. This dog's going to be social, so I need like a layer of sociability to this dog. The breeder should know what to do and give you the right breeding for that.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate what you're doing here.
Great.
It's great. I listen to you all the time. I appreciate
it, Scott. It was really nice talking with you. And keep up the great work with your dogs. You're doing a great job with these dogs.
Thank you kindly, and thank you for doing this. Okay, bye-bye.
Have a great one. Take care.
You too.
That was a good one. I keep saying that's a good one, but we have a good pack. We have a freaking good pack. Like, this is why I'm like, so many people are afraid to just go live because they're like, who's going to come on? What's going to say? I'm like, I don't fucking care. Number one. And number two, like if someone wants to talk, but at the same time, like our pack is great. Like people know what they're doing. All right. So who's next? All right, Joyce. What's up, Joyce?
Hey, how are you?
How are you? Nice to meet you.
I'm good. Hey, I'm from Meta, Missouri, so right in the very middle of the country.
Okay.
And we recently built a house on our family farm out there, and so the family will come out. And the issue I'm having is I have a reactive shepherd, and my daughters have very strong female dogs. And so initially everybody will get along, but at some point during a visit, we will have an interaction. And the last time I got bit pretty good on my middle finger, just breaking them up. And so, first of all, I want to thank you because I've watched how you talk about how to break up dog fights. And so now all my dogs have, all the dogs on the farm have to wear martingale collars so that we can get them up and away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In case.
So, but I think the issue is both of my daughter's dogs are resource guarders. And then my dog is reactive and a little bit FOMO. And so she's always kind of wanting to know what's going on. And then if she gets snapped at, she instantly responds. And then it kind of all hell breaks loose from there.
Okay. And are the dogs actually guarding something when they're in the house, or is they just protecting their space, or what?
Well, I think the last issue we had, we were doing a burn pile, and the oldest dog, I think she was just enjoying her time, and my dog came over to see what was going on, and Josie, the older dog, reacted, and then my dog, Lady, reacted, and then it was just
How
all
often do
hell
you get
from
these
there.
guys together?
Probably once or twice a year
Oh, okay.
because it's kind of a communal family acreage that everybody enjoys.
And so are these dogs off
And so
leash when this is happening, all this?
they are, because we have 200 acres, and so they're all over the place on the property. So the last time they were there, my daughter asked if I would muzzle my shepherd, which I'm okay with, but I don't know how to do that. And also, if she has to do it, shouldn't everybody be muzzled, or what's the right protocol, I
It's very
guess,
difficult
or
to say
how
though,
can
because we got to figure out like who's the one who's really triggering these fights.
well, I feel like it's mine because she's overreacting.
Mm-hmm.
Because Josie, the lab mix, snaps at her and says, "Hey, leave me alone. I'm just enjoying my space here by the fire." And then Lady says, "Rah, rah, rah, rah," and then it just goes. That's what I feel like I witnessed.
So you have to like, these are the things I would suggest is like then potentially having your girl or your boy or girl, I forget what you said.
Girl,
Girl,
she's a girl. Yeah.
having her on a leash, and potentially a longer leash you could have it on. So if she's the one who's like going up to everybody and like she might be a little bit too excited for the other dogs, or like, what are you guys doing? And like she might just be curious, which is fine. She's not doing anything wrong, but her arousal about her curiosity, it might be what these guys are saying, like back up. Or they might be a little bit more on edge dogs. Let's just call it your daughter's dogs. They might not tolerate as much as other dogs do. So I don't know if they do or not. Like some of them don't. Some of these farm guys like don't want to deal with shit. They're like, I don't want to deal with this shepherd. Get out of here. Leave me alone. And then what's happening with that is like, get away. Your shepherd's like, you want to fight me? So it's obviously some arousal thing with her.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
When the fight happens, when they correct, are they biting her, or is there an injury happening, or is it just more like, rah, and then she goes for it?
There have been dog injuries, yes, around the mouth and stuff, and on the nose and face. Not so much on the shepherd. She's long-haired, so they can't get through the coat. But she's definitely punctured. Yeah.
What is she like with other dogs?
So I travel quite a bit, and so I do have her kenneled, and my kennel lady says she gets along fine in the pack. She doesn't have any problems. In fact, I think part of it is she's lonely. We do have another dog that's small, but I feel like she wishes she could be in a bigger pack.
Is she like is she a nervous girl or no? Or just
I call her a COVID dog because even we got her during COVID, and even though we tried to socialize, you just had some mores where you couldn't take them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would call her nervous, absolutely.
Yeah, so it's like this is the thing. It's like you have to be like these things you want to like off leash, and her just going up to them, like you're at risk. Things are going to happen there for sure. You know what I mean? It's definitely a possibility of this happening. So it's like I'm thinking about in that scenario. Let's just say it did happen. Ideally, how you finish, like you stop the fight, and then both dogs should be stopped there, leashed up, and then you should walk them together.
Well, and that's, I think, where we made our first mistake, because I hadn't seen any of your videos
You
about that.
separated them.
And we just instantly separated
Which
them.
makes sense. I know why people do it. I would have done that shit in the past too, but if I didn't know this stuff, But that's just so the everybody else knows, if there's a scuffle and you just separate when they're in that state, the state that they were in is what they're going to remember that, right? So if they were tense, nervous, and there was chaos and it ended that way, that's what that other dog is related to. So next time that dog comes in, that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know what I mean? So, okay. So then if it does happen again, then we have to get to the point where like, have you ever done any remote collar work or anything with the dog?
No, I have not.
Because those are just certain things of like I'm just thinking of things like for social cue stuff when like she's going and like the other dogs, you can see they're like, they're over there and your dog's going, I'm going to go over there and check what's going on. It's like being able to be like, no, come, just to not like let her keep making these errors. That's why I was saying either the leash. I wouldn't even go to the remote collar yet. This is something you could consider in the future if someone can help you with that tool, but start with the long line first. You start with the leash and you could do the muzzle just because if she's the one doing the bite and stuff, but it's more so like you could muzzle everybody, then you can really push everything and do it. And if some scuffle happens, you guys deal with it, settle them down. And after a fight is when people have to be not like panicked, chaos, pointing fingers, mad at each other, upset. It has to be like, all right, that happened. So we need to bring order right now. And how are we going to bring order? We're going to bring our calmness, ultra level of calmness, and a high level of assertiveness to remind these dogs of who's in charge of the whole thing here. You know what I mean? It's
And
not
we
like,
did. We had,
yeah,
there was a lot of excitement because I'd gotten bit and now you've
yeah,
got blood
of
and
course. And what's the last time? How was the last ending with these dogs? Was the last time they separated?
that's the last time they've seen each other was this last summer when that happened.
So then the next time
but
you guys all get together, my suggestion would not be at, what did you call it? The wood burn or something?
yeah, we were burning trees we had cut down
got
and
it.
we had
Yeah,
brush
yeah, yeah.
piles and so yeah.
I'm learning all these terms now. I just moved out to the country only
Right.
5 years ago.
Right.
But yeah, I wouldn't do it with like that type of an event. Like it has to be one where it's not like, oh, we're having this event and let's get everybody. It's like, no, let's when your daughter's gonna come see you again, like hey, get your dog super tired. I'm gonna drain my girl, and we're gonna go for like 2-3 mile walk together. And then we'll come back to the property or somewhere, whatever, and we're just gonna make them do obedience. We're not gonna let them be free or anything. We're just gonna make them like be calm around us. We'll talk a little bit, and then we're just gonna finish that, and we'll end it that way.
Yep. Okay.
So then you at least recover, like,
do
all
that.
right, because when they first see each other, they might be like, oh, us again, blah, blah. Then you deal with your shepherd on the leash. She deals with her dogs. Hey, calm the hell down. We're in charge. The ladies here are in charge. You guys follow our direction. And you're going to be following this group. And we're going to go into pack drive together and go for a journey together.
And it's just interesting because there were actually 4 dogs there, and the other 2 didn't get involved.
Yeah, some
It
don't.
was just between.
Some don't. So some dogs, like if they're like, it very rarely happens here anymore. But if I bring in like a dog who's unstable, and let's just say, forget about my place. Go to a dog park. A fight breaks out. You're gonna have your dogs who get triggered to hear that and want to move in and join, and then you're gonna have your dogs who freeze. What's happening? And then you have your flight dogs who run away. That's just from my experience of doing this pack shit forever. It's like, that's what happens. So now, which is why I said to the caller before, I'm like, we have to pick the right ones for your dog because your dog is going to react with ones who won't react back because your dog is afraid. But like for your dog, I might bring a little bit more confident dogs, but confident ones who won't like join a fight, but they'll like, get off me. I'll stand up to you. And then it gives me the opportunity to help your girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not allowed. So when those dogs are telling you they don't want you around and they do that, you don't go after. You never go after them because if you do, there's consequence. You're gonna have to deal with me. I'm gonna correct you, make you go all the way back to calmness, and you're gonna feel this energy from me, and I'm gonna put pressure on you because I know it's uncomfortable. But how you can make me never do this to you ever again? Don't do that shit again. You know,
right.
So the more that happens, and they see it, it's like, okay, so I get it. Mom will give me a consequence for attacking my neighbor dog or whatever, right?
Right.
So I can't do that. And we've been practicing walking together and being calm together, being respectful of each other. So now I'm getting it way more.
Right. Okay.
All right.
We can definitely do that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Keep me posted.
Sounds
Obviously, this is the one that like, this is the beginning. You know what I mean? So now we got to like do stuff and then we got to see what are we getting from this. If things are improving, great. If you have a setback, so be it. Then we figure out from there. I literally, when I do my video calls with people privately, I literally, not always, but I end up and I'm like, so let me know how it's going. I go, I don't care if I never talk to you again and things are amazing. If things are like, yeah, moderately better, but we need to clean up, or things have gotten worse, I don't care. I'm like, whatever it is, we will figure out from there. And we've tried shit. Now we can see what we can do now from this point forward. All right, this is definitely not working. Got it. So then what we have to do is this and try this thing, you know? And we have theory of what's going to work and based on the past, but they're a living animal. You know what I mean? This isn't a cell phone or a TV. It's a living being who has its own thing. You know what I mean? So we have to understand they're all unique. So we have to understand that, generally they're similar, but there's uniqueness to all of them. So we should be able to understand the individual.
Sounds good. Thank you. I appreciate it so much.
Awesome talking with you, Joyce. Have a great one.
All right.
Talk soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Have a good day.
Let's do one more. This is going to be the last one, guys. So everyone waiting, I'm doing my best. You know, it's like, I'm trying to get everybody in here and I'm like, I want to like provide value to the people who get on and give it to them. This is not the easiest to navigate. So I'm figuring it out. Just keep note of who's in here. Whoever's in it here, send Jamie the email of if I don't bring you on next and we'll get you set up for the next go around. All right. So thank you all for waiting patiently. I hope you're getting value out of this, at least if you haven't come on. I wish I could just answer all of you and just go one by one, but this is the plan. Like I'm going to do this, try to do this weekly so we can just bang through these one after another, and just get them going and we get as many people on as possible. So I'm going to do my best with all this. Who's going to be the lucky last person? Hey, Katie.
Hi.
Is it Katie?
Yeah, I'm from Belgium, so
Nice.
it's Katy, but you can say Katie, no problem.
All right.
Very good, and you?
Very, very good. So how can I help you from all the way in Belgium?
I'm going to let us speaking to my boyfriend. He's better in English than me.
Yeah, but you're speaking good English.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's fine.
We adopted a border collie 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
It's not our first. We had another one, and we have a border collie mix. So now we have 2 again. So we have some experience with the breed, but it's a border collie with a visual impairment. He has 3 years old. We think it's PRA disease.
Yeah, the disease. Yeah.
Okay.
And he has some behavioral issues. I'm going to speaking to you.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So he's very reactive to sound, which I think is because he has this bad eyesight, and he really snaps at strangers. Also,
When they put out their hand. to
yeah. So
him.
a friendly greeting is he snaps at friendly greetings.
Yeah, but
he also
hold on,
snaps
hold
at
on. But that greeting is friendly to the human, not to him.
well, yeah, true.
But he doesn't bite. So the first time that we met him, met de gastgezin,
yeah, with the host
the host,
of the
he came to me too. He didn't bite, but it's just a warning. He steps just in front of your pants.
Yeah.
Just to warn, don't come closer. I can't see you. I don't know who you are. So it's more like a warning.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So he eases into people. So once you get to know him, he's kind and cuddly.
Yeah.
Um,
He's got to trust.
but-
He
Very,
needs some
very
time to.
cuddly.
He needs some time to trust people.
he also is very, like I said, reactive to sound. So any loud noise, the vacuum cleaner, hair dryer, a bicycle on the road, and we live in a urban area, so there's a lot of strange noises. So he's reactive all the time because of all the strange noises that he's not used to.
Yeah.
We don't know a lot about his background, but we figured out that he didn't have a lot of education, or that they just let him be. He isn't used to vacuum cleaners or anything like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So they didn't do like any socialization or exposure really with him.
None whatsoever. No, I think they even pulled him along on walks without stopping to let him do his thing, because he does it in a handstand. He gets on his front paws, and he pees like that.
Send me a video of
We
that.
can
Please
send
send me
you
that
a
video.
movie.
I think it's because his former owners just pulled him along, and they never gave him a chance to properly
Wow.
pee. So he had to learn to pee while walking, and that's what he still does. It's
That's wild. I
it's
want
a
to see it.
very
Send me that
funny
video if you
sight,
can.
but-
I want to see that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So where is this stuff happening with the people? Is it happening in your home or on the street or where?
No, we are just by ourselves. And when my boyfriend, he enters the door, it's not a problem. He knows us now. So that's not a problem
Yeah.
at all.
Okay.
So, but when somebody would enter here, it would be a big problem. So it's not, we just didn't do it. He's just here for 2 weeks to let him adjust. We didn't have any visitors. We don't have any children.
Mhm.
So it's not a problem for us, but we want to.
How is he
make him
with the other
adjust.
dogs?
I have only one border collie whippet mix. She's female, and it's okay. They get along very good, so they like to play together. But the border collie is not neutered. They didn't want to do it because of his aggression problem and the anxiety. They just didn't want to do it. So yes, it's female male, so it's not always they start to love each other.
A little bit too much.
Yeah, but and that's another thing. He also fancies my leg, and I don't know how to get him to stop. You can get as angry as you want.
It's
but
really excitement when
It's
you see
yeah,
when it's all going above his head. It's just excitement, and when you say no, he stops.
he stops. Yeah, he does
stops.
stop, but
So he can listen when you say no.
he listens.
He listens.
But he's very stubborn, and the moment you turn your back, he goes back to being naughty because he knows you're not watching.
And what about exercise? How much is you exercising this guy a lot or no?
we are trying, but because of his visual impairment, it's not that easy to go on bike with him or so. I do dog sports with my other dog. So I do flyball, I can do fitness exercises, dog dance. I'm used to doing all this stuff, but for me, it's just a learning process, because when you want to play tug or with a ball, he takes your hands because he can't see it. But he's very impulsive too. There's a lot of energy. He has just 3 years old. So I'm still learning. He loves to play the ball in the garden, so that we go for walks. But that's it for now. We just have him 2 weeks, but he likes to play tug, the ball. We have to learn him to bring the ball, to let go the ball, because he takes it again.
Yeah.
But he can't see your hand, so he takes your hand too. So we have a lot of work to
Yeah, you're
go.
working on that
Yeah.
stuff. But what I would just remind you is he's a dog, and even though he doesn't have eyes, he has his nose.
Mhm. But he's too impulsive for that, because I try to learn to make him search for like the ball, but you can see he doesn't has the amount of attention. He's so young in his head, so he's just
But
going all the way. And
use food first. Use like strong scent first, because the ball is just gonna be a ball. He's like, I don't know, what am I looking? I don't know. If you bring the scent of the food by him and you wave scent, and then you like put it somewhere, and then you bring him on a leash, and then while he's in the smelling, searching, you say, find it, search, and you get him using his nose way more, because like this is one that all people should do more of, is get their dogs and engage the nose way more. That's one of the reasons why I tell people, and Caesar has said it too, of like, ignore your dog when you come in. Not so much ignore, but stay calm and silent. So it teaches your dog, it conditions your dog to go to nose, not go to ears and eyes first. Use their best sense. Another thing I might consider with that dog, because he hasn't been sensitized and stuff, or desensitized, I should say, is a treadmill. I said this on the last call. Is get this guy, you get a treadmill, you work on teaching him how to walk on treadmill, he gets good at walking on the treadmill. Cool. Now he's very comfortable with the treadmill. That's already a skill that he accomplished. So he's going to build confidence from doing that. You're draining physical energy. He's got to focus when he's doing it, because he's got to, if he starts going like this, oh shit, I got to pay attention to the thing going. So that's focus. Then once he's really good at it over time, what you do is he's doing really great. Then all of a sudden you bring a speaker, you bring out the vacuum, just start moving the vacuum around without the sound, making just the noise first. Then you turn it on a little bit from at a distance. And he's, what do I do? And then someone else is on the treadmill with him. You're all right. Get through it. And you help them through these things. You know what I mean? Like this, for whatever reason, this dog world has basically said that like dogs are this fragile piece of glass, and like they can never experience one piece of stress ever. And I'm like, well, number one, these dogs are living in stress, right? And to me, if exposing them to something that like for him, the vacuum or things that makes him feel a little stress, but you're helping him overcome it, that's a good thing. He's got to experience, he's got to go through some stress. Like I talked to one of these trainers, like, I forget it was a veterinary behaviors or something. I'm like, yeah, but you understand like distress and eustress? And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, so distress is like, you're afraid, I'm going to make you more afraid. Eustress is you're afraid, I'm going to help you. We're going to expose you to the thing that makes you afraid, but I'm going to help you through this and accomplish getting better and out of this fear. So it's stressful experience. I'm going to accomplish going on a plane because I was afraid of planes. I'm going to do it, but I'm stressed doing it, but I got through it and I accomplished. I feel better about it. You see it?
And what can I do? Because he really attacks the vacuum cleaner.
You have to correct him for that.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you could, what I would do with that is, because he's already developed this habit of going after it. If he didn't develop it, I would do it different. I would teach him something else to do, and just to tolerate the vacuum. But because he said, now my choice is to just attack vacuum when it comes on, we have to extinguish it. So what I would do is I would take the vacuum out. First, I would have him on a leash, and then I would take the vacuum out and see, does he try to go after it? The moment he goes after it, I'm going to say no and pop the leash, or compressed air, or whatever. Make a whatever was going to work for that dog. Just, I'm not supposed to do that. So, and then, okay, settle. Now I start to do it again, and he tolerates that. Cool. That might be all I do the first time. Then I put it away. And I come back it out, do again, multiple times a day. I'm going to do it. I'm going to bring it on, turn it on. I'm going to vacuum. But what I suggest doing in the beginning is, instead of putting this guy on a bed and making him just tolerate you going all over the place, put him on a leash, have him with you, and then vacuum like away from him. Like you're vacuuming over here, and he's like over here. He's on this side of you, you know? So you're vacuum. And this way he goes to go across you and go correct. No. Good. Back to what we're doing. Then when he gets to the point of when you're doing it, and he's just like, all right, this sucks. I don't like this thing. I can't go after it. What am I supposed to do here though with this? Then you come with a scent. And then you can give him like a high value something there. That's the timing of when you use the food. Most of a lot of trainers are going to come and bring food right away. And I'm like, I disagree. I think it's the wrong timing because your dog's already intense and attacking and going into fight state, and he's aroused. So if I distract him with food there, I'm rewarding arousal around the vacuum, but I'm just rewarding the arousal somewhere else. I don't want that. I would rather him learn I can't attack the vacuum. Oh, I get food or something else. And then later on, if I want to say, hey, when the vacuum comes out, you can go play or something, that's fine. But in the beginning, I want you to be calm about that thing and let it be. Then we can let you do other things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So I heard you say that we can. You said something about compressed air, or
yeah, they have like those compressed air sprays. I should bring in one of these ones. It's like they call it pet corrector or something.
Yeah, yeah. So that's fine too, because I think because he's so reactive to sound, if I yell at him, he shrinks and he goes flat on the floor and he's like super scared. So it's hard to correct him.
I get you. In my opinion, though, you should never yell.
Yeah.
Unless it's an emergency.
It's not hearing. He's
Not like
no.
yelling, but like a stern no. And then he just
assertive. Yeah, and
then he goes down. So
okay, so then just teach him this. Hold on, really quick. Just teach him that when you say no, and he goes into like, okay, don't just walk away there. Let him go to this too. And settle.
Yeah, let him relax before you end.
Yeah, and then you can mark that state. You can mark that state with like relax, calm.
Yeah. Okay.
So then he's like, so this is this. So then in the future, when he starts getting a little excited, relax. He's like, Okay. It's not going to just be overnight like that. You know what I'm saying? It's going to happen over time and a lot of repetitions and things. But eventually, that's your goal. Is you're leading him to that.
We have a big problem with being alone. And that was a big surprise for us because in the other family, he didn't have that problem. So he was there, he was in the bench for the whole day and he didn't bark, he didn't do anything. Now he's here for 14 days. And when I have to go to work, he barks all day. And I go walking before, I do some playing before, he gets something to chew on. But the moment that he hears the keys go in the door and I leave, he barks all the time. And when I come home from work, it's the same. So I'm afraid it's all day long. And that's a surprise. He didn't do that. So maybe it was one movement, verhaas.
Yeah. Yeah. So he had a former owner, 2 former owners. Then he went to
the shelter,
and then to a host. And then to us, and we think maybe that was too much for him.
Yeah, he bounced around, but it's more that he's becoming too attached and not learning how to detach.
Okay.
So I would be focused on like, is he spending too much time in my intimate space? Does he follow me everywhere in the apartment? Those are things you have to pay attention to. And when he starts that, teach him. I've talked about this in past ones, but it's just briefly. To a dog's instincts, the pack should never separate. Okay. Just know that. Like everyone should know that. A dog to a dog, they're like, why do you people separate for what? Like when they were wolves, they didn't go off to work and go to go dancing with their friends. They don't do that. That's the family and that's it. So because we do that, we have to teach them. So to me, it's the beginning of, it's normal the dog's gonna follow you, but you have to put a limit on the physical following or else it becomes obsession. And then they become obsessed with being in your intimate space and being close to you. And then they start becoming codependent, meaning I only know how to function when I'm close to my humans or following them around. So we have to teach him how, like, when you guys are home, I'm going to be walking around and you don't follow me. Go lay on your bed and wait over there. But these are all things you should be doing after he's gotten a bunch of exercise. So it makes sense to him instinctually. I feel tired and they're asking me to rest on a bed. That makes sense. Where people screw it up is they go to put the dog in a kennel or they go put the dog in the bed and they're going to leave and it doesn't make sense to the dog. The dog just woke up, had breakfast and walked around the block and then they're put in a kennel and they're like, what do I do with all this energy? Like that whole thing starts. But if you think about it, if he was really tired, you brought him there, This makes sense to do it. Doesn't mean that he's not going to whine and bitch, but then eventually what's going to happen, this is my theory on the separation anxiety. People say, go outside for a minute, come back, this, that, da, da, da. I'm like, but how do you come back? Because if you just leave for a minute and come back and it's all excitement and shit, like what's the point? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. To me, what it should be is like, I leave, I'm watching on a camera. All right, my dog's like standing at the door and now he's starting to whine and bark at the door. I come to the door and I open the door. No, go back. Calm and firm. And the dog's like, wait, what? And you send him all the way back there. Relax. Calmly walk. And like people make a mistake too when they're going to leave. They go to leave. They're tiptoeing and is he coming? So they're leaving hesitantly. And the dog's like, that doesn't seem certain to me. You don't seem like you're sure of yourself. So you put him out there, stay there. And you go to leave. Walk out, boom, close the door. Watch again. Anytime when you're walking away, he starts to get up and follow you to the door. No, go back. You're not coming with me. You're making it clear to him. Because what a lot of times happens with the dog is they follow the human to the door. Oh, in their mind, well, I'm following you. And then the human turns to the dog and says, all right, I'll see you later. Be a good boy or something. Or they give something. And then the door closes. What the dog in that state of thinking they're supposed to follow. So now there's physical barrier, which creates frustration. I can't get to this human because of these fucking physical barriers here. Sorry for my language, Europeans. But so, yeah, you get it?
So, yeah, separate him before you walk out the door. So,
but we do that.
Yes, but you have to practice also coming back.
With the kennel, we do it with the kennel. So when he's just in the house and I go to the garage outside and he's looking at the door.
Don't apologize. I see that. All right, go ahead.
He doesn't bark, but when I put him in the puppy kennel and then I leave, then he starts to bark.
Okay, so if
he knows that I'm leaving for my work and when I'm coming back in a minute or so.
But do you when you leave for a minute, do you put him in the kennel?
No, and then he's just in the home, but I don't trust the two of them together now because they just know each other. So I put him aside from the other one.
So he bites on a lot of stuff.
Yes.
That's another thing.
Okay, so he bites so much energy. So I can't leave you with the charger and stuff.
That's good data though. So that's telling you that the dog has a bunch of energy. So we have to figure out the ways to
drain
the energy.
He does, yeah.
It's telling you that when you leave and don't put him in the kennel, that he's okay with it, but not so it could be potentially a little bit of the containment related to the kennel. That's the problem. So then with that, you have to help him, feed him in the kennel at times throughout the day, put him in the kennel and say, you're going to go and like take him for a long ass walk and you guys are home, go in the kennel and relax. If he starts barking there, you put a long leash through it. He starts barking. No, pop the leash.
Okay.
And when you take him out of the kennel, he has to be calm and respectful to come out. You can't just open it and run out. So when you come up and he's all excited, you wait and he calms down. Now you start to open the door and he tries to come out, close it on him. What? And then you want to get to the point where the door is open and then you can put a leash on him and calmly invite him out.
I'm already working on that a lot because he always wants to go first to the door. Yeah. He runs over the other dog. So it's really a big exercise.
Yeah, that's it. The best thing you can do is start to train this dog, like get him backpack, weight, and like things, and really start challenging. Get the treadmill. Just give him a lot of challenge and things to do. And then you're going to see him, okay, now I feel more fulfilled. It makes more sense to listen to you guys about this calmness thing you're at.
I think the treadmill makes a lot of sense because it's very difficult to get him tired.
Yeah.
With his bad eyesight.
Right. And then when you go out there, that's
running
the problem.
When you're out there. Everything.
Right. Yeah, because now he's pent up and you bring him out there. Now his eyesight and you want to go take him for a bunch, but he's like, what the hell's going on out here?
And we really have to do an exam with a specialist for that because we can't figure out. He walks to a car like that. When he walks outside, he just bangs his head to a car. But when a ball rolls, he can follow it and grab it. So we really don't understand.
I think he does a lot on sounds.
Yes.
Especially a ball with a little bell in it. He loves that.
But also without the sound, he just can follow it and take it.
Yeah.
But when the ball is still, he doesn't find it anymore. So
yeah, it's probably the movement probably makes it easier for him to say. He probably has like a little bit of sight. It's just like when things are still, he can't really see it. But when it moves, he's like, I see something moving. Like I see a shadow moving or something, you know?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Maybe there's something that could help him. But with all this fucking technology these days and medical, I'm like, you got to think there's some way they can help his eyes.
I don't know. I think he's born with it. It's a genetic thing.
It's possible.
I think.
But anyway, this is what I would tell you is this is a very common one that I've dealt with over the years. I actually had years ago when I was working in Hoboken. It's just another city by New York City. And a lady called me. I wasn't even my client, but I had known her from just being around the neighborhood and stuff. And she sent me a message. She's like, I'm losing it. I'm losing my mind. I'm like, what's happening? She's like, my dog, my friend, she just got diagnosed with like he's going blind. And she started like having a meltdown. And I was like, and I said to her, I said, what are you so upset about? And she's like, what? What do you mean? My dog's losing its eyes. I'm like, yeah, you're looking at this from a human perspective. I'm like, he has his nose. He's going to be fine.
Yeah.
This is why I'm trying to get people to see, like, this is like, make sure you're engaging the nose, treating the dog's number one sense with his nose, honoring that so they get good with that and they're comfortable. It makes sense to them to do that. So then when now they start losing their eyes, explore the word this way with this great sense that, you know, and he'll learn over time. He's going to learn. He's only been there 2 weeks. So he'll walk into things, but now he's going to start remembering things and seeing certain spots and all that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
And you want to wait with the exam because of making contact with other people is so difficult for him. You just wanted to wait a little bit with that.
And one other note before we get off is I wanted to tell you, for the people who are going to meet him, any friends, family, or anyone you're going to work with that, their protocol has to be to completely ignore it. Act like he's not even there. Even if he's growling and barking or anything, like they have to do nothing with him. And he's got to feel like they see him as he's not even there.
But that is not a problem because we can walk on the street. He doesn't go to other people. He doesn't make a problem. I went with a walk with other border collies this Sunday and 20 people, and he just moved on with the pack. It was no problem. He didn't go to other people, but it's just when they come to him and put their hands to make contact, that's the issue.
Of course.
That's the issue. So do you have an ultimate tip how we can overcome this?
Yes. Start advocating for him and tell people to not pet him, or put a vest on him that says, please do not pet, I'm working.
Okay.
Because he has two things. Number one, he wasn't exposed and socialized. And number two, people are doing the stupid move of reaching in with a hand, which is eyes and ears, and he doesn't have good eyes.
Yeah.
So he's uncomfortable. I don't know what is this? But if he started hearing somebody, what is this? And no one touched him and reached for him and did anything. And then he's like, what is it? And then you let him calm, and then you brought him near, and he's like, he's smelling that thing. And he's like, what do I do with that? And you just teach him to be calm about it, and no one reaches or touches for him. He's like, oh, I learned how to do that. And then the more that you can repeat that, the more he starts being more comfortable meeting people. But the people who are going to screw it up are the ones who are like, oh my God, look at you. Those are the nightmare people for dog owners. But they're supposed to be the dog lover. That's supposed to be the dog lover. I thought I tell people, like, the general speaking dog lover is sometimes the worst for dogs possible.
I'm very fortunate. We know a lot of border collie owners, so they are really comprehensive about it, and they really understand. So that's not a problem. But I just want to get him to that next step. Not now; it's too soon. But how we can get him over this problem.
Make him a little bit more trusting, because I think because of his bad eyesight, he sees this big shadow looming over him. He doesn't know what it is. He can't see faces. He can't see intentions. And I think he's just afraid of
and maybe he had some bad experience with other people too. When he was young, we don't know. So
but it's also with you haven't worked with him enough and haven't really developed a relationship, a leadership where he can trust you to protect him in those scenarios. So that takes time too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to take time, but you're doing good. It's a challenging case. This is a challenging case, but with those changes, I think you could definitely get some good work. And I know some people in Belgium who could help you too.
Oh, okay.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I will send you the video of him peeing.
Yeah, please. I want to do that. I'll do a video review. That'll be my first video review.
It's unique.
So we have this dog from Belgium who stands in a handstand and pisses on
and he does the same. How do you say it to do caca? How do you say it in the...
He poops.
When he poops,
The handstand.
you can't see it.
Puts his butt in the air.
like falls down. Amazing.
It's
All right.
really crazy.
Well, send me that video.
Okay, we will send you the video. Thank you very much.
If you talk more about it, you let me know. We could always talk more about it.
Okay.
All right.
Very good. Thank you
Great
very
talking with
much.
you guys. Thank you. Have a great day. All right. Or night, whatever you are over there.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye. That was really good. All right, guys. Well, this is an amazing one today. I see you guys in here. Okay, perfect. We'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about whatever the issues are. If you guys can make it. If you can't make the next one, just let Jamie know. We'll do one and the next one, whatever. We'll get you guys on it. All right. But good one today. I thought this was a good value. Good questions today. Really good questions today. We're going to go hard in 2026. Thank you guys for watching today. And we have a great year of content coming. We're going to try to do this weekly. This is awesome. We're going to really connect, get this pack growing bigger so we can influence the world. Tons of content coming. And please give me feedback. I want you guys to know. Tell me this is boring. This sucks. This is great. This is information. I want more about this. I'm doing this for you guys. I'm here. I'm spending time today to give you guys as much as I can for free. So give me more guidance of if you like it, don't. I'm open to all of it. I'm open to it. I know myself deeply, so I'm not offended by any of it. All right. So have an amazing weekend, guys. Stay calm and confident. Love you all. We'll see you on the next one.